All right, so let's stop this. Ooh, right away we have a banger. Right away we've got a banger to start out. We got Sunburn, we have Outcrop. This is gonna. I already like this map draft. And we banned Runestones. Okay, banned Fez. I don't mind Fez. I think Fez is a more interesting kind of Runestones. Even if you took out the water, I think it's a little bit more interesting on that side. But so far, I'm liking this map draft. I don't want both water maps. I don't think I want both water maps. I would be fine with Accuray, Hyper Random, and I think I like Immersion more. Because Shoals is just kind of feels like very straightforward. Serengeti, okay, so we're going to do one Arabia. And Hyper Random. You gotta do the Hyper Random. And what's the last ban? Shoals, do we ban Immersion as well? And then leave Accuray. I mean, I would be fine with an Accuray and no waters. Ban Immersion. Aftermath. Oh, the worst option. No. No. I wanted Accuray. Boo. Okay. Well, still not terrible. It's going to be a fun draft. I at least like that there's no runestones. We have Serengeti, which is acceptable, I guess. A little hillier Arabia. Um, so still should be good. Now we're just waiting on the Civ draft, which Frost and Maldar I think have the right idea, where you just spin both of them up immediately instead of one and then the other. So we're just waiting on them. I do wonder if it's like on a delay or something. Maps. There's a TDM best of TDM 5, which I messed up a little bit there. There's a lot of low regular legend stuff going on. I wonder if T90 has. I mean, I assume T90 has stuff going on most weekends. I feel like T90 has something going on. Road to Wool, Londonium, Civ Draft. It is cool to see how many tournaments there are actually going on right now. Oh, I forgot to take my pills. Do with my handful of goodies. Some meth in here. So now we're just waiting for not that. Only Vans. Round 1 test. Jade as well. Schedule. Why did I get pinged in the schedule? Is it just because something new got posted like within the past minute or two? Still waiting on the Civ draft. Biscuits and Jade, where you at? I need to know the Civs. Please. Maybe there's difficulty here or something. Best of 7 maps. It's not play alpha, is it? Hey Bez, like that Smash poster? It's legitimately one of the greatest posters in esports. Let me ping Otter real quick. Yeah, the Smash poster was made by Moxie2D, who now is like a Pokemon YouTuber. But he still pops in every once in a while to Smash and like draws. Doesn't draw as much art for it anymore, but it's one of my favorite art pieces. So we're still waiting on Jade and Biscuit. 8-year-old son you play sometimes. He picks Kirby and pick Jigglypuff and you call them Pink Squad. The Balloon Squad. The Balloon Boys is a good one. The Puffballs. Yeah, they're fun. The one I play is Melee, which I'm sure you can tell, but I'm assuming your kid probably plays Ultimate, which is a fun game. Am I just missing something? Where is Tarnished? I'm still waiting on them. I'm worried that they've gone into the game, but I'm not seeing anything here. There's that. There's that. Hopefully I'm not missing anything, right? I'm just a little confused right now. So they definitely did that. Did I just miss? I did. How did I miss this? Okay. Cool. We'll just get right into it real quick. I'm just an idiot. So, go through the admin bands. Uh, Jurchens, Berbers, Bengalis, kind of the ones. Romans, Magyar is also pretty popular. All right, so a couple bands: Persians, Sicilians, Tatars, Dravidians, Celts, Mongols, Georgians, and Spanish. All those make sense. The Dravidians is a little bit of a surprise band, but I think other than that, it's all kind of makes sense. Do the blind ones. I don't know if there's anyone. I'm trying to rush through this a little bit so we can make sure to catch the game live. Okay, a wide variety. No double Koreans, but Japanese picked by Biscuits, Malians, Slavs. Oh, were around, so Slavs are one of the top tiers. So that's gonna be a nice advantage for Jade. Probably get sniped. Burmese, Turks. Remember, there's no immersion, so Turks don't have that canny galleon shenanigans. Teutons always solid. Vietnamese, Khmer, Bohemians, Huns, Bulgarians, Britons, and Hindustanis. The RM favorite. Send that up now. What do you think of snipes? I think Slavs is gonna get sniped, and Japanese or Malians, because I know Malian or Vietnamese maybe, but maybe an elephant. Sib will get sniped. Khmer don't want the elephant rush. Okay, Khmer and Koreans. Interesting. Okay, I mean with the maps, with Sunburn being a very rush heavy map, I guess. For Aftermath starting out, actually hold on. Oh, they have the Aftermath properly set up. With Aftermath being the first one, is there any, so like Hyper Random is the only one. Hyper Random and Sunburn are the ones where you need like less generic civs. Probably like Japanese or Bulgarians or Vietnamese. Actually, Vietnamese on Hyper Random might be the play. So I can see Burmese elephant rut, like elephants being Sunburn. So for Aftermath, I feel like Japanese, Bulgarians. I'll go Bulgarians for Aftermath, and then could see Slavs. I don't think you want to use Slavs on that. You probably want to save them for like Serengeti or for one of the more standard maps. Um, Huns could be useful here. Nice strong start. Hindustanis could be really good. Don't think I think the map's wide, like mobile needing enough that Teutons might not be the play here. You probably want to save like you could do Bohemians. I could see Huns or Hindustanis for hyper random, and Sunburn probably the Teutons because speed isn't quite as important there, or Bohemians because you just win off Hoofneys right away, but that's kind of risky. So I could see Teutons for that. So I think it's going to be Bulgarians, Slavs. That's my guess. Looks like they're in the lobby. We should be starting soon. We can bring over the Otters stream. While we wait. Let's look at Frost and Maldhar's maps. Or civs. Saracens, Huns. Inca. Inca are chosen. Interesting. I mean, we saw some really cool Inca play on Sunburn once. I forget what game it was, but a Inca Slinger, like, all in was crazy. I think I casted that with Otter. So, Magyars, Dravidians, Sicilians, Bulgarians. Britons get picked a lot. I mean, I guess they're pretty solid. It's just they feel like they're not a DM civ, in a way, you know? But Franks, Persians, Chinese. I mean, it depends on the map. I mean, maybe it's play all maps, or like just straight up all maps, but not too sure there. Maya got banned? Why? Maya, Vikings, in the way, and the Poles? What wild bans. Is that just getting rid of all the like low tier civs? That's hilarious. Doesn't want Frost styling on him, I guess. Still waiting on this game to start. Once it does, we'll leave off of that. I mean, yeah, it's like... Hey, no! No, you do not get to be up there. No, no, no. Down, 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 down. No. Closing the door on you. Cat is a gremlin. Try to jump up on my towers. That is the one place he's not allowed. So. Alright, looks like we're in. Let me kick it off and get us started. And I guess we will get underway. Alright, looks like it's going to be Burmese Slav. So close. One of the B-civs and Slavs. And it's Mighty Space Fruit, not Biscuits. That's good to know. In case I can't find him in the future. Testing, just making sure the audio all looks like it's coming through. We have a minute to start, so we have a little bit of time. So we can go and take a look here. I mean, he's taking a while, but... So yeah, Burmese Slavs. If I have a minute, I'm going to actually take advantage of that and pull... Not that, AOE2 casting, this... just remind myself what the Burmese do. They get Arambai, battle elephants. There's going to be elephants versus pikes. This is going to be kind of the big thing, right? I don't think Slavs have changed too much since I last played. Boyar is really solid. Interesting. That's different, I think. And then Drugina has always been the same. And this is just bonkers. And Siege Workshops cost less. It's a strong civ. It has a lot of bonuses that are just kind of like purposely designed for DM, it feels like. All right. Let's get under. Oh. Waiting for it. It's taking a second. We're almost there. All right. Welcome to the playoffs for Tarnished Deathmatch League Season 6. This is for Div 4. Hold on. Div 6. TDM 6 playoffs. All right. There we are. Nope, 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 nope. Let's just rewind this back. And all right, welcome to Tarnished Deathmatch League Season 6. This is playoffs for Division 6. The winner of this goes to Division 6. In the green, we have JadeArrowGamer having gotten second in Division 7, trying to fight for a spot in Division 6. They're playing the Slavs. And in the blue, we have the mighty... Oh, hold on. I'm going to change one more thing. Biscuits. We have the Mighty Space Fruit, also known as Biscuits in the Discord. And they are playing the blue Slav, or Burmese. And they came in 4th in Division 6, meaning that they are fighting to stay in that division. As we see that Villager is exposed and goes out the wrong way, and that Villager is going to get picked off. So Jade Arrow finding a nice early pick. Gives a little bit of advantage, and against the Burmese, as the Slavs, you do not want to give the Slavs anymore. Both set Aftermath. I mean, yeah, I don't like... I was hoping it was from the admin pick would be Acre or Schultz. I mean, yeah, I just not a fan of Aftermath, I'll be honest. I just don't like Aftermath that much. Elephant's going to be marching slowly over to the 2 markets in an attempt to get that resource trickle. A lot of elephants coming, or not, a lot of castles coming out for Jade. I mean, you may as well just drop a bunch of castles to help deal with the incoming elephants, protect against it. And yeah, I mean, the elephants are going to kind of camp these, what are they, workshops for a bit, as both sides kind of mass up. We see champions coming out right away for the Mighty Space Route, and expecting the mass amount of halberdiers, which is what Jade is going for. It's kind of like, you know, the Slav Halb Siege Onger is the play. So it's going to be a lot of can the SO micro from Jade get it done? Because those champions are going to cause problems for the halberdiers if they get a good engagement on them. But it's up to the SOs to turn the tide of battle. Meantime, Elephants chasing away a villager. They are going to find a villager pick here, denies a castle on this flank. TC does go taken down. So the halberdiers are going to get pulled away. That's a lot of halberdiers being pulled away off the front lines. This could be an opportunity for Biscuits to kind of attack in the middle. But these elephants are going to get poked to death. As all these halberdiers are here, and there's a lot of them. They're going to chase them down. Maybe those elephants could find another villager pick over here, but it's very unlikely as how slow they are. In the meantime, looks like that castle is going up on that middle hill. Not so much middle hill, but the hill closest to the base, which is, you know, a very solid place. We see Jade doing the same on this side. But this hill in the middle is going to be kind of the important thing. There's a relic here. See if anyone goes for some monks. In the meantime, both players just kind of content to kind of build up. We see a slow elephant rush on the side. Going to find a monk going for a relic. Picks off the monk. Going to pick off a villager here too. So Jade going to lose another villager trying to do these side expansions. These side expansions have not gone well. But we see a couple testing champions go forward just to try to see what's going on over here. But now we have the engagement. And this is a terrible engagement for Jade. The halberdier is way far forward in front of the siege ongers. So now the siege ongers are here, but the halberdiers have been melted through, and those some friendly fire as the siege ongers take out most of their own champions. But this has allowed the elephants to engage onto some of those siege ongers. Halberdiers are coming in to try to defend and provide a meat shield. But that was, I think, a terrible, not a very good engagement, but such bad SO shots from Biscuits and really solid shots from Jade Arrow is going to push the force back from Biscuits, and that is an insanely good engagement from Jade, having gone from a horrible engagement to a great engagement. Those halberdiers way too far forward to really secure when they ran into that champion mass, But luckily, the micro wasn't there from Biscuits. Biscuits' attention might have been on the eco, and Jade not only secures that fight, but also secures a relic from the middle. So getting a nice little advantage there for if the game goes very long. And now we see Aaron being mixed in instead of just the straight champions and elephants. But this is going to cause problems for Biscuits. I mean, you can see the gold stacks already. The problem with going into the Slavs is that their main unit is going to be a lot of pikes. And we actually see a switch to champions from Jade. But there's not a lot. I mean, there are some champions now, so not the worst. But those champions are going to come forward, and they're going to snipe a couple siege onagers. Those very, very bulky champions. Getting some value there for such a small little raiding party. The big concern is going to be, you know, if Jade makes a bunch of those champions and there's not as many champions for Biscuits to engage on, because he switched into like Aaron and stuff. But now a lot of Trebs are forward and they're gonna start pressuring this castle. In the meantime, both of these, even with the castles, the workshops are under Jade's control, which is weird. I don't know why the workshops are both under Jade's control when Biscuits has units there. But this castle is gonna get pressured by a lot of trebuchets, and I don't think Biscuits is actually ready to engage on this. Good engagement, or I mean, big trades, big shots. Castle does go down, and that's a nice shot. But I guess these are just regular onagers. Yeah, so it's regular onagers against the siege of the Slav, and so that's going to be a problem. But that is some nice shots from those two onagers, and this is some good shots. But a lot of champions were lost. Scorpion's going to engage and take out these onagers at the cost of themselves. And it's mostly champions left and not pikes, so this is going to be rough. I think the elephants can do pretty decently here, though the scorpions really helping deal with some of that HP. And there's just so many champions from Jade. Jade having the military advantage right now, doubling the military count of Biscuits, and still the Trebs are alive and can start pressuring. There are some defensive onagers, and there's not a lot of units left for Jade to continue this push. But I think there's just enough to maybe pick up some of these onagers. And yeah, the champions are in on the onagers, and the onagers have to fall back, let the castle try to chip away at them. And lost some siege there, which is a little bit rough. So now they're just going to kind of skirmish on the sides. Again, I don't know, maybe they have to back out and get it, but it's wild that maybe it's a visual glitch. I'm not sure. Aaron raids are on the side, so it did get some kills here. We do see a lot of deaths. We see Jade actually having 18 villagers dead. So these Aaron raids getting a lot of good value. The Onager is coming over here and going to clean this up, though. That is a lot of dead Aaron no reaction from Biscuits, and that entire squad is just wiped out. Did find some good value, but lost a lot. And in the meantime, the pikes and champions start pushing forward. Not a lot of siege to back this up right now. But, I mean, there's not a lot of military here to defend against Jade's infantry. They're just going to storm forward and take out a lot of the siege. So sending some halberdiers there to do that. And these Trebs are a little bit too far exposed. We'll see if Biscuits can take advantage of this. But no, Biscuits is sending a lot of their force to the left side. And the Trebs are going to start pressuring the middle of the base. And there's not a lot here to defend against this. Like, we'll see if Jade sends their units all the way forward. I mean, they have to kind of run into these onagers. That's going to leave the Trebs exposed. The champions are flanking from the side. Onagers coming in as well. Castle does go down. There's not a lot of protection for this military anymore. And the Trebs continue to run unabated. We do see another Aaron raid here, picking out some villagers. So very nice finds from Biscuits. But Onagers going to try to come forward, but these two champions are going to just find some damage and take out these two Onagers. I think Jade's just getting these really, really nice trades with these siege workshops. These siege units. Oh, and finds a random TC destruction there. Need to take out the Trebs. Those Trebs are going to go down. I mean, Jade probably could try to save them, but trades 2 for 2. I think one of the things that Jade's really benefited from is just better siege onager, or like onager micro. And then being able to send small squads forward just to wipe out a handful of siege onagers. Like if you trade like 15 halberdiers for like four onagers, that's a really good trade. Because it's not gold units and everything. Aaron is continuing to cause problems in this attempt at expanding on this side. In the meantime, this expansion over here is still going fine. Why are there fires in the woodline? Oh, it's Aftermath. Right, they have fires all over the place. Champions running forward, trying to get access into the backline of the siege. Again, there's no siege units over here, so it's kind of hard to protect your siege if you don't have any foot soldiers. And you're going to lose a couple siege onagers, you're going to lose some bombard cannons. And this is what I was saying, Jade is just finding these essentially free value picks. And Biscuits just doesn't have trash units to defend against. Biscuits has 4k on gold, nothing being produced because there's not enough food or wood income. So we'll see what the play is here. That is a lot of siege onagers. I mean, adding in some Hussars or Light Cav or whatever the Burmese have wouldn't be the worst idea. Now we're going to see Jade maybe sending a couple Trebs and just try to clear up some of the expansions on the side, regain some map control, and maybe pressure Biscuits to focus on the sides and allow the middle of the base to be pushed. Meantime, some castles have gone up to secure this expansion, but we do see Biscuits trying to push on the sides. So Biscuits might have accepted that he's not winning in the middle and kind of split over to the sides. I don't think he's really committing too hard to keeping this right side, but really focusing on trying to take over that left side of the map. Trebs are going to be taken down. These Trebs are so exposed. If he had any sort of raiding units, he'd be able to go and take these out. And now we see the Boyars coming in for raids. A lot of Boyars coming in to just destroy this eco behind. And there's no military here. I mean, all the military's in this front side, kind of worried about the potential of a force here, but that's a lot of dangerous siege onagers. Of course, nothing to really protect them against like Hussars, but the Boyars coming in, and there's champions chasing them down. And villagers have been saved into the TC, so Boyars not finding as much damage as they would like, but are idling the eco. Castle is being taken down. I think Jade's being a little bit too passive here, allowing too much damage being done on this side. So we'll see if Jade can make something happen. Jade definitely has the advantage here. Loses the Boyars to the TC. Not exactly where you want to be with this. But, I mean, I guess that's fine. And now we have the big engagement. Andre's going to land all their shots. What a... Oh, all the Aaron by dead in one go. Oh my gosh. That is brutal. I mean, the Andres are a little too clumped up. Do lose a few to the Andres. But they're going to take the trades there. And there's still so many SOs left. But there's no ground infantry left for Jade. Jade needs to repop them. Doesn't know where most of the military is for Jade. I mean, is it just tied up in... Might even turn into a wood game at this rate, but I doubt that. Jade looks like they're going to start marching forward, though. A lot of problems on the side. I'm surprised Jade hasn't really been able to designate any military over here to clean this up. Both players have been pop-capped. And what are those Trebs doing so far forward? Oh, just throwing away the Trebs. You can't afford to do that. And the Boyar's coming in, taking out these infantry as well. Champions coming forward. Aaronby need to run back, and the Onagers going to rain down stones and take out all those Halberdiers. So, interesting unit control from Jade. Jade was doing pretty solid for controlling that. But I think, well, Boyar's now coming in to get some raids, try to find what's going on in the back areas around here. And Jade's kind of sitting back and trying to reconsider what they're doing. Boyar on stand ground, going to die to these two Aaronby. But, I mean, this force has just been slowly pushing forward, right? These Trebs just not really being contested. Jade instead trying to fight in the back of Biscuit's base, which like, is getting a lot of value. You can see the Eco-KD has just massively exploded. But Jade has a massive force that really isn't doing much and doesn't have any Trebs to back up. Might just be an issue with population overflow. And loses another, like, expansion. And Jade just isn't dealing with this small force. Okay, now the champions come in and they should clean this up. Castle, though, the castle creep is very nice here, and even more castles. So Biscuit's doing a really good job of securing this. Might want to add some production buildings here. But the Trebs are getting sneaked up on, and they get taken out. So this push will get slowed down. But it still should probably go up. Like, unless Jade starts making some trebuchets over here, he's going to start flooding some Boyars forward. But a Treb or two just to push this area back would be huge. In the meantime, I mean, Jade should also try to take this workshop. Now we have some Halberdier raids. But look at all these Onagers that are just like very valuable units, not doing anything right now. And does deny that castle. Castle gets doubted pretty bad. Villagers are going to go storm forward and try to get there and do the... Does the castle go up? I think it doesn't. There's too many units. It will. It will. Just barely. At the cost of a lot of villagers. But, I mean, the castles are going to be very annoying for Jade to deal with. And we missed something. Oh, no, all the Onagers are on this side. Okay, Jade's clearing up the right side. I was afraid we missed all that fight in the middle. But doesn't seem like that's the case. Some Boyar raids here and there. 2 relics for Biscuits. And I assume that's going to be 3 for Jade. So Jade does have the relic advantage. And now it's just a question of Jade's just sending forth Boyars. But here comes a Treb. This Treb very well protected between the castles. So this castle should get denied and maybe some pushback there. But in the meantime, Jade's kind of pushing on this right side of the map. And I don't know if Biscuits really has too much to be able to contest this. The champions are going to be able to protect them pretty well. Needs to make sure, I mean, it's going to be a lot about onager control. There's a lot of siege onagers that can make a lot of things happen, but a lot of terrible things happen. And the Boyar's flanking from the other side. They're running to rejoin their friends instead of going for the siege onagers, or the onagers, but the champion's going to take care of that. And there's nothing much here. Jade's going to be able to clean up this right side of the expansion, and over here even. Does lose a castle, but will probably, I don't know, on the Treb Micro is going to be important to try to keep this castle up. If this castle goes down, the Boyars are going to come and just destroy all the Trebs, which they're doing right away, because, you know, one castle isn't really going to be able to do too much. So, this push is annoying, but I don't think it's really that, like, it's not really getting the damage that Biscuits needs to push this one way or the other. And so now the right side of Biscuits' base is going to start collapsing. Jade is losing a little bit here, a lot of Trebs, and those Boyars that are massed up lose another castle, so, I mean, Biscuits is making a very nice push here and has been reinforcing it. Needs some production units, again, production buildings to help reinforce the flanks. Boyar's going to run in here and snipe a Treb or two. Erenbai going to try to do their best to clean this up, but Erenbai, you need a bit more of them to actually be able to snipe the units faster. And that's a lot of Trebs lost just to those 4 Erenbai, or 4 Boyars. And another squad of Boyars coming in might even be able to take this last Treb. And that's going to just completely halt this push. So nicely done from Jade. In the meantime, Treb's coming forward. We could even see Jade maybe try to steal these relics. Need some more ground infantry. We've said this. I mean, Jade's been popcapped this entire time. So it's been tough to, you know, reinforce the right units. But Biscuits is going to call it as soon as the relics go down and loses the army and that push halts in the side. And Jade kind of was in a dominating position for most of that game. So congrats to Jade taking that first one. Really, really good micro control. I think it was really one of the key things was just finding those random onager picks. Just really like sending 5 or 6 champions or halberdiers forward and picking off like 3 onagers just for free. Jade was able to keep the onagers and everything really low for Biscuits, and just Biscuits can never really get a good enough force to contest them. And again, it's like it's hard to fight into Slavs. Slavs are insanely good units. They're insanely good civ. So kind of understandable. But yeah, Jade always had the military advantage. Biscuits never really got there with the military. Relic Gold definitely helped. Jade had a better economy. I think overall, like, you could argue it was a civ advantage, which I think it absolutely is. But Jade played it very well. I think Jade may have been a little passive here and there, and then let this left-handed side get a little bit out of hand. But Jade played it pretty much, like, Jade played in that case, I think, a lot more of, like, a play to not to lose the game, where when you have the advantage, you can kind of sit on your lead and rely on that. So very well done from both of them. But Jade's going to take the 1-0 lead. We want this. All right. Hyper Random is going to be the next one, and it's already started. So we'll just real quick take a look. Aftermath, we're going to go Hyper Random next. We had the Burmese died against the Slav win. Hyper Random, I'm predicting Bulgarians or Vietnamese versus Hindustanis. Or the Huns. So I think that's what's going to be happening. And let's just get right into it, I guess. Switch over here. So then we're kind of a bit more caught up. How's the Otter? Frost is up 1-0 against Maldar. Okay. I suppose I probably shouldn't be spoiling anything. But, oh well. Alright, so... Oh, I don't have the... Capture age. There we are. Alright. Welcome to Game 2 of the Division 6 playoffs. We have JadeArrowGamer taking the first game, up 1-0, playing the Huns. And in the blue, we have Biscuits playing the Vietnamese. And what a crazy start! It's a hyper random map with plenty of water, with walkable, or I mean, I guess it's swampy water that you can walk over. We have a 2 TC start. We have workshops immediately for both players. So we have plenty of resource trickle. We have these crazy corners with plenty of resources. We have the Aftermath Island-esque area. Not the Aftermath, the what's the migration, I think it is, or whatever that map is. This is a crazy map. We have trade carts, or we have mule carts. Heavy demo ships. We have 2 Gawains. This is a weird hyper random. It's insane. It got all the crazy stuff. It has plenty of wood. And we have raids already. Gawain takes a kill. Castles go up. The mule cart already being on the field is crazy too. Both Gawain's going to go down for Jade. And there's already demos on the field for both players. This is going to be a wild set. This is either going to be an incredibly long one or an incredibly short one. I mean, the Huns are going to do their rush. But it's either going to be like just somebody finds the advantage here and just steamrolls and finds a nice Cav Archer pick. Already 1, 2, finding all these eco kills early on. Granted, with 2 TCs, they're going to start, like, it's not that big of a deal. But also, already a 7 Vil lead. These Cav Archers getting a lot of value, but are going to get picked off by these Halberdiers. And we do have water battles. Like, this is just a crazy hybrid map. This might be another one I add to the list of ones I want to remake. I don't know if I want the 2 TCs, but I like this idea of, like, we have the 2 starting islands, and then the middle island, and then the corner islands. Granted, so this is deep water? I assume this is unwalkable water, but it's so gross. The terrain choices are trash. I don't even know how to expect, like, I would hate to play this. This would be the most infuriating thing to play. With no plans going into it. A super hybrid map. Insane. So we have some Dramans out. We have water control. So it is going to be a big question of, I think, like, just based on how the map is, this water is much more important than the water over here. Yeah, so I think this water is going to be really important, and the fact that Jade's already on and has that advantage, I think will benefit them quite a lot. Whereas this backwater matters a bit more if Jade starts pushing into it, but because this area is so much more, like, in danger for Biscuits, I think the fact that Jade's already kind of accomplished getting control of this water is going to be so painful to deal with. Because, like, you have, do the Huns get demos? Naval. Droman, they do have demos. Okay. These Elephants are going to engage on these Cav Archers, and even with the water backup and the Dromans and everything, you're not going to get the best engage. You want like, there's no Cav Archer micro. Jade's going to lose a lot of their Cav Archers. You do not want to lose those Cav Archers. Huns need their massive Cav Archer ball, and like, especially against Elephants, you cannot, and Halberdiers, you cannot afford to just lose them willy-nilly like that. So, Jade losing quite a few valuable units here, but does have double the eco, does have, is going to lose all their Cav Archers, but does have the water control for the important lake. And we do have Jade on the outside sending ships in as well. Demo's going to be connecting with this naval army, and a lot of them are taken out. We have a couple left here as the cannon galleons are out for the Vietnamese, and they're going to start ranging this base. So this base is also, this water is very important. We see Biscuits sending the army down there. This is such a crazy map. This is the craziest hyper random I've seen, and we've had some banger hyper random matches. I don't even know if this is a good map or not. That's the craziest part. It's just, this is one of those map gens where I'm like, I wish we had the StarCraft 5-second countdown at the start of matches, just so players could have looked at the map and had like 5 seconds of breathing to be like, okay, what did I just get myself into? But the cannon galleon's going to start ranging the secondary base of Jade, and the Treb's going to push in the middle. And, like, the outside water control is definitely in Biscuits' favor, and these demos are going to go forward and maybe loop around or at least prevent any reinforcements coming around. But these cannon galleons can start ranging pretty and doing some annoying production stuff over there. In the meantime, Treb's going to take out this forward castle, going to deny it. This forward base is the one being pressured very heavily by Jade. And, I mean, there's a lot of units being killed here. But, I mean, trading Halberdiers for Rattans and Onagers is not the worst. We have Dramans ranging them, going to be landing a lot of shots here. I mean, the Onagers are going to do some good damage here, but they're just Onagers and not Siege Onagers. That's so much Navy. And here come the Cav Archers charging in to snipe these Onagers. Hopefully they don't get any micro, or there's no micro from Biscuits. Biscuits should get a shot off and maybe take out some of them, but they're not going to. Meantime, down here, the cannon galleon is going to range these castles, and this base is probably going to get wiped out. It could just be a straight-up base trade. Like, I think Biscuits could just lose this base, Jade's going to lose this base, and it's going to turn into almost a more standard game. This is wild. Like, neither player really knows how to approach the situation. Jade's gone heavy water in the middle. I mean, both players have gone heavy water on their respective side. And their, like, secondary TZs are going to kind of go down. I mean, I think because the candy galleons and how the maps are positioned, and I think Jade's realized this, is that Biscuits has the advantage here because he can range all of this base with his candy galleons, or at least most of the base with the candy galleons. And you see Jade realizing that, sending the ships over to try to contest the outside waters. Whereas with this kind of base and the protrusion and everything, Jade doesn't have the ability to range all of this base with the candy galleons. But the Cav Archer is going to be finding a lot of picks. Jade racking up those eco kills, and both players are pop capped out with two towns going. And now the galleons going to engage on this these candy galleons. But this base is mostly lost for Jade, so Jade's going to lose his outpost, I think. The Treb's going to start pushing in. Needs to make sure to keep this water. But yeah, it's kind of a base rate. No reaction. Doesn't save any of the villagers here. And the elephants and Andres tasked with cleaning this up. They're going to lose so many villagers. I mean, ugh. Oh, this is a lot of lost eco. A lot of eco KD for Jade. So, Jade might be losing a base, but Biscuits is losing a lot of villagers. And massive naval blockade coming on the outskirts. And that's what I was saying, is now with some Dromans here, they can actually start taking out some of this production. So it's going to be kind of a base trade based on water, and it's going to probably turn into much more of a flat, kind of standard islands map. I mean, I say standard with very heavy quotes. But this is such a wild map, yeah. And so the crazy thing about this base trade is that there's all this extra resources that Biscuits can take. But this is going to be a problem. This is a big naval army, and they're going to be able to loop around and start pressuring this base. And so Biscuits kind of needs to finish cleaning up this area, but he's going to lose water. He may have cleared up this base, but he's going to lose his water. Dromans are going to take out this castle eventually. And like if Biscuits doesn't re-secure water, this entire map could just be completely covered by Jade's ships. And Biscuits will have a lot of hard time. Like, everything is rangeable by Dromans and candy galleons, so it's really a big deal with water. I am interested that neither player has really gone towards either of the corners yet because of all the resources, but there's so many resources at home. We haven't checked actually the counts or anything, but I assume there's plenty. Yeah, there's over 1,000 in one of these piles, and people were mining this, so there must be so many resources at home. And like we said before, there were the workshops, right? We had workshops somewhere in here. Yeah, so we have a workshop there. Can you destroy the workshop? There's a market, so somebody marketed, but... So maybe you destroyed the workshop or something. But that's the, like, there's going to be a lot of resources trickling in. So now the Navy's starting to pressure it, and this Navy's swinging around, and there is not enough docks to be able to produce demos. You need a lot more demos to be able to take this out. So, I mean, Biscuits has kind of won the ground, but Jade has the water. And as we've seen, if you don't have water, it is very hard to win these kind of maps. And we are running low on wood in the home base of Jade. Jade will have to find a new place. I mean, this is starting to expand over here. It has a huge wood line over there. So Jade should be fine for wood. And now, yeah, Biscuits' home base is getting surrounded. I mean, that is some nice demos masked up. So that is going to be helpful. Needs to just... Oh, no, the demos have popped out and they're trapped. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. I mean, maybe they can be saved. But, yeah, Biscuits needs to do something. Needs to react soon. He's going to lose all of the defenses at his home base. In the meantime, docks have gone up on these outskirts. Jade thinks about maybe checking on that and is going to find the docks going up. And so Biscuits doesn't want to give up water quite yet. But Biscuits is losing a lot at home. This is a lot to lose. You need to react soon. You have all these demos. Do something, Biscuits. And here come the demos. They're going to charge these Dromans on this side. But there's... Oh, what a great shots. And good micro. And yeah, not enough demos survive. I mean, they do some good damage, but not enough. And this base is going to fall, and Biscuits needs to hold on to this area, try to reclaim water, but nothing's coming out of these docks. I mean, the demos are starting to come out, and maybe we'll chase away some of the ships. But losing one of the docks, Cav Archers doing their raids, Jade's looking so strong. Taking away all these villagers, too. I mean, yeah, Jade lost this area, but secured the water, and I think that's what's going to win Jade the game. And there's the castle on the back corner. And Demo's trying to engage onto these ships. And I think they're going to get some hits, yeah. A good amount do go down. But there's still so much ships left. And yeah, they can just circle around the bases. Have free reign to kind of do anything. I mean, there's an attempt to push here, but yeah. It's just, you can't really, everything is ranged by water. So it's kind of, if you don't have water, you're not getting anything, right? So it is a big question of, can you keep water up? And if you lose water... kind of are going to lose your bases, and we're finding that out now. Yeah, and these villagers desperately trying to get resources. There's no mining camps or anything. They're going to lose a lot. I mean, this still has a good amount of eco, has some solid military numbers. It's just a, can he gain control and deal with his water? Like, Jade is almost entirely on water. And, like, ideally you'd be able to, if you had some light cav or hussars or something to go in and raid, it'd be nice. Tarkin's going in. We gotta love our good old Tarkin boys. But yeah, I mean, this is just highlighting how important water is currently. And the villagers trying to go secure this back wood line. Gonna run into a Droman here. And that Droman is gonna get so many free kills here. The demo's swimming right by it, but they're going to try and engage onto this Navy. I mean, if Biscuits can clean this up, that is a good amount of Navy that would have to go all the way around and give Biscuits some breathing room. But the demos are just stopping there. They need to go engage on those ships. Tarkin's going to come in here and try to clean up this last area. Demo's doing nothing. And the Dromans are just taking out all these villagers. Oh. There's nothing going right for Biscuits, unfortunately. Come on, use the demos. And yeah, Jade realizes that now they have to push on the ground. They're going to do that with Tarkins instead of worrying about any, like, siege rams or anything. I would like to see some rams or something. But there's some good military here for Biscuits to defend against this. Again, it is, losing your home base is very rough. But I mean, both players down to one base. Jade has a much more secure back corner. And finally, that Droman gets taken out after losing almost all those villagers. And now we see the ground forces starting to move forward. The Rat and Archer is going to be kind of in a nice spot. There's a lot of military coming in. A couple onagers are in the base. And they're going to land some very nice shots on those Cav Archers. Pulls them away just before the really bad damage can be done. And then loses them all immediately. So, oh god, that's all the Cav Archers dead. That is a very nice engagement from Biscuits. Something he desperately needs to be able to keep this fight going. And the Rat and Archers, very well microed, being microed pulled back left and right to just slowly chip away at those Tarkins and those Hussars. And Biscuits weather the storm immensely. Loses some of the onagers, which is not easy to replace. But cleans up that massive ground force from Jade. And in the meantime, this base is going to go down. Demos still have done nothing. But, yeah, Biscuits lives to see another day. Jade's still pop capped, but is going to lose his castle. Once that castle goes down, this area is much more exposed. The Rattans could start fighting over this wood. And, there is, I mean, these demos, our castle goes down, the demos can start trying to engage. And if we get some good, no, the cannons! Our cannons are not demos! Send the demos, not the cannons! Alright, Demo's going to storm forward, and they're going to get some really good engagements. No ship micro from Jade. And those demos doing a lot of good cleanup there. Really good trades for those demos. Needs more demos going in. But Biscuits is going to tap out as the Tarkins come forward and clean up all that military. What a crazy game. What an insane game. Insane map. And Jade takes a 2-0 lead. Wild. Yeah, this map was nuts. This is probably the craziest hyper random I've seen. And it's like, it's one of those super crazy ones, but also, like, when you think about it, not too crazy, right? Like, the map itself seems fine. It's just the 2TC double market, or double workshop start, and everything walkable, some deep water, the corners. This is such a crazy hyper random map. I love this. This is a fantastic map. I might, I'm gonna do this. I'm trying to learn how to do scripting. So I'm gonna take a picture of this. Save as, 2TC migration. 2TC migration. And then here, return to map. Seed. Save as 2TC migration seed. It seems like a lot of the crazy hyper random maps are just 2TC starts, but I still think it's just like the map itself is really interesting. So Jade takes really good, like, I don't know how much there is to talk about that map specifically, simply because it was so much of, they're already on to Sunburn. Jesus, they're starting fast. Frost Game's going and on and taking so many viewers. Yeah, I mean, we can see how it is. I mean, that's a fair, like, I went into this knowing that I wasn't expecting to get the main viewer counts, right? Like, I, I'd rather people watch this. I just want to cast a live playoff game. I think playoff games deserve to be cast live if possible, even if there's fewer viewers. So we're doing Sunburn, so let's just try to catch up. We had the Vietnamese died, and the Huns win, and we're going to Sunburn next. So it's gonna be a rush map. I can see Malians versus Teutons. That's my guess. Yeah. No, I mean, this game looks like it's kind of going how people expected it to. So, all right, let's get into the third game after such a crazy, crazy map. And I think, like, just to kind of summarize the previous game, it was like a lot of, I think, it was just highlighting how important water is on those kind of hybrid maps, where if you don't have water, you don't have mobility. And that just allowed, even though, what am I looking for right now? Even though Biscuits was able to take some really good ground fights, he just was getting chipped away by non-stop aggression by the water and just never could fight back. So, capture edge. Go here. Alrighty, let's get into game number 3 for Division 6. In the blue, playing the Bulgarians, is Biscuits, down 0-2, trying desperately to keep his spot in Division 6. Playing against the Bohemians, played by JadeArrow, who is up 2-0. Playing the Bohemians in the green. Jade needs one more, I believe, to secure their spot in Division 6. And we're going to see the early castles kind of make a defensive fortress. Oh, the siege workshop doesn't go up, and this hussar gets in. Oh, that's really annoying. That's going to slow down this immensely and almost lose the villager. That's a huge, huge advantage for Biscuits just because it delays. Like, this hussar is doing so much damage just by delaying that building. In a game like Sunburn, where it's so important to get a strong start, you need that early aggression, that early build speed, and Biscuits getting a lot of idle time from that. However, so we're seeing two-handed swordsmen coming out from the Bulgarians. Interesting that he's going two-handed swordsman, but I mean those are pretty solid and can go fast. Get out pretty quickly. And then we see cavaliers as well. So not any castles or creposts. Okay, here come the creposts and the siege workshop. So it looks like Jade is going to probably be the more defensive play with Bohemians. Makes sense. Waiting for combo to play. Jade is safe here. Yeah. I mean, yes, but yeah, Jade is safe, but I like that annoying slow time was very instrumental for getting for like Biscuits able to expand a bit more, like able to get this Krepos push already, like Krepos already up, but an early Treb is gonna start pressuring this, and Biscuits got pop capped real quick and doesn't have really anything to snipe the Treb or like pressure or anything. So like with siege workshops up, we have siege rams coming out, a lot of siege rams, so it's gonna be a siege push. So Biscuits going for the all in pretty much. And the Hoofney is going to cause problems. Pointy Boy is going to take out these Cavaliers. And I mean, I think you could have probably sent those Cavaliers in and try to find some value. But I guess you do need them to try to do an all-in push. So it's likely going to be Biscuits going for an all-in here. And I don't know if it's going to necessarily be too successful. Sorry, I clicked something. Okay. Cavalier are going to find some individual Halberdiers that they can kind of clean up. But they are taking a lot of HP and at least just kind of drawing some attention away. Like, Krepos does go down. At least it was deleted. And yeah, the Rams are going to come out. They're going to get the champions put into them, I assume. And then some Conics and Cavalier are going to push in. And they're just going to try to completely wipe Biscuits or wipe Jade off the map in one go. So we'll see if they actually even load up the champions. Or the two-handed swordsman. I mean, that's a lot of military from Biscuits. Biscuits is looking really strong if he loads up. He needs to load up the champions. Load the champions. No, he's just going to send them in raw. He just... Okay, there we go, the champions. There we are. I mean, is that going to be enough? It's a strong, quick start, but, like, now there's a bunch of halberdiers out for Jade. Has some wagons, has some trebs, has a bunch of castles up. It's... I mean, I think there's enough here to do this, but it's... Hussites... Oh, the Hoofney's going to land some nice shots. Have a lot of Hoofneys there. And they're just going to melt them. Connick's immediately going towards the Hoofneys. And it's going to be a question of can the Rams even get to the siege and the buildings? Losing so many to the Hoofneys. The champions are out. This looks like a pretty crazy engagement. I mean, there's a lot of military here from Jade. And Jade military numbers are still looking strong. But the champions are out. And, I mean, the Rams aren't really... There's nothing pressuring the buildings. There are more Rams coming in reserves. But the military for Biscuits looks like it has prevailed here. And the military for Jade has been wiped out. If the Rams can get into the buildings before the military can get rebuilt by Jade, I think Jade is going to lose this game. Rams all being redirected to this one castle. Not all the Rams need to go there. Jade's going to continue to expand on the south side. But yeah, now the military is in the eco of Biscuits, or of Jade. And the Rams starting to take out this castle. More and more Rams coming forward. It looks like Biscuits is continuing the all-in. The Rams need to keep going forward and keep doing damage. It looks like they're going to do it, but the gunpowder is starting to mass up, starting to get a lot of this military down for Biscuits. Biscuits starting to lose some of the military. And the Cavs managed to snipe a Treb as well, or snipe a castle. So it's going to be a question. And now we even have some Cav archers on this side, trying to pick away some villagers, keep it some stragglers from expanding. And the Rams starting to push forward, and this is starting to look really good for Biscuits. So Jade's numbers are starting to rise. Jade has more military. The military hasn't been reinforced from Biscuits. Biscuits, no more gold, no more food. At least send the halberdiers forward. Send something forward. There's no military left and forced to pull away. This has got a lot of damage done there, but is not able to get the finishing blow. And with 5,000 in the banks, like, you have all these barracks. Just send forth the halberdiers. Send some form of meat shield. But not going to be the case. And Jade hangs on and is able to continue their expansion to the south. Keeps repopulating. But it has some Hoofneys, so Jade can start pushing back. And that's a lot of the military is caught up in siege rams, which the Hoofneys are going to be able to deal pretty well with. And all the infantry. So it looks like Biscuits is now kind of on the back foot. That all-in didn't really turn out well. Jade has stabilized after such a crazy good ram push from Biscuits. I think just not reinforcing with the resources you had, not sending a bunch more military in, and having too many rams go and push that castle meant that Jade was able to hold on just long enough, have enough castles to produce the units they needed to, and now the Hoofneys can start to rain terror down on their enemies. What a great hold from Jade. But yeah, like, we have what? We have 23 siege rams out of 75 military. So essentially half the military of Jade's. And Jade has so much military right now. Those Hoofneys are going to be microed. And yeah, it's going to be... Biscuits just doesn't have the military. Like, the Connick's can get some good engagements here, and maybe with some Andras, if they can get some good shots. They need to land their shots on the gunpowder, and they're going to get some very nice shots. Some clustering up happens. Another shot comes out to take out some of the Hoofneys. And this is a pretty solid engagement from Biscuit, but I think there's just too much military for Jade, and they're going to clean up the ground forces, and now the siege rams are unprotected, and we're going to watch Biscuit's military count drop down to about 20, whereas Jade stays up. Biscuit does have the eco lead, but Jade has expanded so well, managed to sneak out an expansion all the way over onto this golden wood line. Does have a push on the side, so splitting the push very nicely. The Bohemians notably slow. The Hoofneys and military going to be slower if they can't. They can't really be in two positions at once, though they can kind of range from the middle. And we have Cav archers. If you had some melee units, they'd have a little bit better shot here to try to deal with these Hoofneys. But they are going to find some good damage here. The Trebs are going to get some good damage. Take out some of the production buildings, and I think it's at least slowed down. And Biscuits has at least stopped that immediate counter push. Now the Halberdiers are going to chase down those Cav archers. Cav archers are going to get taken out here. Some decent micro with the castle, it should help, but they lose a lot to these very fast attacking Halberdiers. And these Trebs have gone too far forward, and there's enough military here to push back and counter that push. But the Andras doing a lot of damage over here. But yeah, Biscuits down to 13 military. Has 96 eco, so could repop, but the resources stack isn't really there. It has 2k in the gold in the bank, so has something to work with, but not a lot of food, not a lot of wood. Kind of hard to build a military back up without a fully fleshed out eco. Jade still having a massive amount of resources in the bank. Just not as many villagers currently. But the Hoofney's starting to pressure this forward expansion. And the Trebuchet going to try to get some damage done. But like the Hoofney's just going to snipe it real quick. Nice Treb snipe. What a crazy shot. And another bullet comes in. Misses. But yeah, I think Jade's going to start slow pushing back. Is pop capped. I don't know if Jade notices that. Needs to rebuild some houses. Has some... maybe some houses being built in the back. But is pop capped currently. So if Jade doesn't catch that, that does give a moment for Biscuits to kind of rebuild a little bit. Due to not having a lot of military force from Jade. This push on this left side is very tough Bohemian Deathball to deal with. And the Hoofney's numbers starting to climb up to 5 now. With this one coming in. That's a lot of production that's going to be lost. And still, like, only 13 on food. Only 23 on wood. Only a single wood line. I'd love to see, you know, a lot of villagers that are just kind of surrounded by the gold. Not a lot being done to deal with con. And we're going Cav Archers to try to snipe the Hoofneys. I think you need, like, Conics or something to deal with them. It's a little bit tough, but Jade's going to start slow pushing out. Jade does notice that they're pop capped, starting to build houses, castles, whatever they need to get, yeah, building houses to get their pop space back up to 200. And yeah, I think Biscuits is going to start experiencing the slow bleeding death. He's going to try to push on this other side. I mean, Sunburn, very hard to kind of deal with both side pushes at the same time. If you're being pushed on one side, just switch to the other one. And that's what Biscuits is doing, trying to hope for base raid. With these Rams, it's going to be a fast push. 3 Siege Rams coming in is nothing to scoff at. We'll see if Biscuits continues, or if Jade continues to just push forward. Looks like they are. Maybe thinking about trying to send some Halberdiers back. Nope, they're going to continue to push. Looks like we might just have an old-fashioned base trade. And unfortunately, like, Hoofneys are great, but the Siege Ram's going to just melt through this base. And there's no military there to protect them, so a couple Halberdiers pop out, and they're going to be taking out these Siege Rams. Send the Conics forward. Have the Conics protect the Rams. Biscuits losing out on the few siege units that were just doing so much damage. Got a lot of castles down, but just too afraid to send them in. And Jade's going to continue to push forward here unopposed and with the military there. Alright, now the Conics are here to help defend, but there's no Siege Rams, there's one Treb. Sending maybe another Siege Ram or two would be huge. But it's going to be, the base trade is no longer in Biscuits' favor because the speed isn't there without the Rams. Attempted, okay, some Krepos in the back, but with Hoofney sitting here, like, this is easy for Biscuits to notice, and he's just going to snipe it down. So, nice attempt, but I don't think that's the case, and they're going to try to snipe the Conics and the Cav. Oh, that's a huge shot. What a micro from Jade. And the Conics are going to attack the villagers instead of the Hoofneys. But yeah, that's so unfortunate that all the Cav Archers clumped up in one spot, and the Hoofneys just perfectly attack grounded it. Yeah, the Conics need to take out these Hoofneys. They're still exposed. And now they're going there. And we actually even see Arbalest coming out to deal with some of these Cav Archers, maybe some of these Conics. But yeah, finding these Hoofneys is going to be finally something that helps immensely. But this push is still going on. The base trade is still happening. And again, only Trebs and Onagers are good to base race with, but a Ram all these buildings would be dead already. So it's going to be a question of how much can you defend, how much can you trade. We got a good old-fashioned base trade here. It's kind of hard to tell who's going to win. Biscuits has the eco lead, but Jade has military lead and probably the better pushing force. But with some Conics in the back ranks, but now there's Hoofneys, and they're going to start pressuring. The Hoofneys are going to be here, and there's no military to help defend against the Hoofneys, and the Hoofneys are just going to splash down all these Onagers. And unfortunately, Biscuits is trying to micro them down. Yeah, Biscuits going to get some good engagements. Takes out all but one. Can he even get the second one? No. And now the Conics coming in to clean this up. So Biscuits' push will continue here. Loses a lot to that push, though. Loses all the siege Onagers. So it's just some Conics and some Trebs. And with some military back here, Jade's going to be able to defend against this. In the meantime, Onagers come in and flatten a bunch of the Hoofneys. Cavaliers are going to come in and try and take out those last two Hoofneys. If you lose those Hoofneys, you lose the push. And the Hoofneys go down. This push has been slowed down. Onager does get a nice shot on the gunpowder, too. So this base trade has stopped the advantage slightly in Biscuits' favor with no military, but not a lot to be able to push into these trebuchets with some Krepos and castles going up. But the Hoofneys roll in, and they're going to be able to snipe out all these Trebs. All the Trebs are going to go down pretty much immediately. And the Halberdiers here to clean this up, and there's no military left for Biscuits. Jade once again pop cap at 145. And yeah, it's just a question of, like, can you deal with the Hoofney spam? And we even see some Halberdier raids, very nice from Jade. And yeah, villagers, all friends mining from the same resources, but some Conics there clean up those villagers, and the Krepos will help clean that up pretty quickly. And Jade's going to lose a lot of villagers here. But the military has all clumped up again for Jade, and they're going to start pushing back on this middle expansion. This corner expansion is so clutch from Jade, bringing in so many important resources, keeping their hopes alive. And no reaction from Biscuits, losing so many villagers. Biscuits has lost 90 villagers, all of the wood line. But Biscuits does have the expansion kind of down here and in the back area. So Biscuits looking fine on eco. It's kind of turning into a bit of a Michi game at this point, where they're going to be... I think this will get cleaned up at some point, and they'll each have their side of the map. But Jade able to repopulate the military, having the Hoofnies out and be able to micro and just get so much value from this. But these Andres going to land some shots, wipe out an entire squad of them, but not the squad they needed to. No, another squad. All the archers go down. And now the cavalry are going to snipe on some of these bomber cannons. The hand cannons trying to avoid the siege Andres shots, and siege Andres are going to continue to pump forward and just try to find an insane shot here and there. And the Hoofnies continue to be microed. Going to lose some. Oh, and there's some down to the Onagers. Onagers going to land some more shots, taking out even more military. Biscuits is getting some very good trades, which still does not have the military count to make anything happen. Neither player really has any military at the moment. This has turned into a crazy, crazy game, and it's going to be a very long one, I think. Yeah, this castle expansion is going to go down, and this one... Yeah, Biscuits has not been great about protecting their eco. The eco KD is insane. Just crazy. 100 villagers, and still has more villagers. So Biscuit at least continue to pump out villagers, knowing that they're expendable. But yeah, now this Onager mass is starting to mass up. If the Hoofnies get exposed, there's a couple Cavalier sitting around waiting. It's really going to be a question of some heavy siege Onager, or heavy siege micro. And who's going to win there. And we have a Treb ranging this. Getting some nice value here, getting them off of a wood line. So, finding some good value here, Biscuits is. Do we have some... No, that's just berries. Yeah, and this expansion finally goes down. Needs to deal with these villagers. They could sneak and do some sneak... well, one, sneak steal wood lines. But also, they could do some sneak production to just send some harassments. And now we see some engagements. The Cavaliers trying to snipe some Hoofnies. Not really going to find any damage. Andre's going to land some shots here. And not the best engagement. And the problem is when you do those attack rounds, you leave them exposed to the Hoofnies. And here come the Hussar spams. This mobility finally something that they needed so long ago. And those Hussars are going to come in and just throw themselves to death, trying to take out any of the Hoofnies. Take out one of the Hoofnies. But, I mean, the Hoofnies are around and they're going to start pressuring this castle. And it's going to be with some Arbalest and some hand cannoneers. It's going to be tough to deal with. Okay, we have a Conic going and cleaning this up. They'll probably find out about that. But, yeah, all the action is in the middle. Biscuits has the better economy, but it has such a bad eco numbers. It's getting the farm eco. I mean, we can look back, and now the farm eco is starting to go. This will allow Biscuits to maybe get his military really well balanced, start pumping out some units. But it might be a little bit too little too late. Jade has the military here. Jade has stepped up so much. Jade versus Warpath next season is going to be a banger. Yeah. Jade... I have nothing against Biscuits, but Jade is showing that I think Jade deserves the spot in Div 6. Like, this is such a good set from Jade. Oh, good Onager shots. But, I mean, Biscuits has done some really solid play here, too. I think the Hyper Random is easy to write off as thinking land was more important. But, yeah, I think Jade has just been outplaying Biscuits for most of the set. Really, the biggest problem Biscuits had here was just, now he has 66 on boot. So I do think Biscuits is going to have a pretty solid clapback here, because he's going to be able to start pumping out military. He's been struggling to pump out his military numbers this entire game, after the initial rush. And even then, after like that initial fight, it's been tough for Biscuits to have any good units, right? Like, and also the ram push. I have some qualms about that, but flooding Hussars is just going to allow Jade to flood Halberdiers. And the villagers coming forward to try to steal this forward gold. There's still plenty of gold left in this little mine. We have 2k gold left there. The Trebs here are going to do some damage here, but oh yeah. And now the Hoofnies going forward. And this expansion was cleaned up. But it is going to be a question of, can Biscuits hold off Jade? Because Jade's going to start pushing in. The Hoofnies getting so much value. They have 15 kills between them, but they've also been trading a bunch. And, I mean, the SOs from the Bulgarians are nothing to scoff at. So it is a very big micro question. And they're kind of caught in a weird position I mean, they do snipe the Onagers. Onagers not helping out here. And Biscuits is just going to retreat instead of trying to engage on this. Because they're kind of caught in this back area and not able to like retreat to their bases or anything like that, it could have been an opportunity for Biscuits to really push and force them into a choke point where the SOs could have landed some really nice shots. But he doesn't take that opportunity. And instead he's going to fall back and try to engage on these with Hussar and SOs. And it's just going to be a question of like, Biscuits is going to continue to be forced back. He's going to keep losing military, trying to send these small squads forward. With the amount of gunpowder and hour blasts, you can't really snipe any Hoofneeds without a massive squad of Hussars. So you need to start massing up some Hussars. You need to start massing up some Onagers. You can't be fighting with 12 military. I think that's Biscuits' biggest problem this entire game. Is I want to see the statistic after of how long Biscuits has just been like below 20 military. Because it feels like it's been for 20 minutes now. Sorry, got a ban. And we do have... Okay, so nice from Biscuits. Continue to like do some raids. Find out that Jade is back there building a crep post. But this fight is going on. And like now starting to mass up some units. So Biscuits has the right idea. Losing a lot of pop space though. Needs to rebuild their pop. Jade is pop capped. The Hussar are going to try to take engagement, but there's just so far the Onagers aren't here to help out, and they're just gonna be able to run back. Might be able to snipe one or two, but that's the problem. Is that you have this massive ball of DPS, and the Hussars just can't engage without the Onagers threatening them. Onagers are gonna come forward. The Hoofneeds are gonna try to micro them down. Onagers need to chase away those, and this is when the Hussars should be going in. But you sent in the Hussars before, and the Onagers after, and you needed to send them in at the same time, and that's unfortunately been the story of this map. You actually see a defensive castle try to go up, and that castle is going to go up, protect this back area. No relics really being collected from either player, I think, right? We can check around. Maybe there's been some relic play, but okay, there's a relic. So, but this is going to start getting pressured. Yeah, the military for Jade is looking to be too strong, too clumped up, and now we're seeing some unit trickle, feeling pressured, needing to make something happen. And these gunpowder units, I feel like, haven't been reinforced. 45 kills on those gunpowder units. 32. So this defensive backbone has just been so crucial to deal with these raids. Like, and now the Hussars coming in. They might actually get some damage, but like with just so much units, so many ranged units here, they just can't get in there for any damage, right? Like I think they got one Hoofneeds, but it just costs so much military. Oh, they do deny this. So the raids continue to be a little bit of a problem for Jade, and Biscuits trying to drain Jade out of resources. Jade has so many resources in the bank. Has the eco advantage now. It's just been a continuous production problem. It's just been unable for Biscuits to really do anything. And now we see some more Hussar raids, which is very, very nice. So Biscuits making stuff happen when there's too much going on the front. If you can pull your opponent's attention to the backside, or just like get damage or eco while they're pushing and focusing on the front, you can make some stuff happen. So Biscuits taking that approach, trying to use the lower military count to their advantage in the sense of using that in better and slightly more harder to focus on places. But I mean, now he's losing the farm ecos down to 37 farmers. Can't produce the Hussars at the rate. Needs to expand eco. I mean, that's a lot of farms up there, but needs to send the villagers up there. And Jesus Christ, look at the Vil counts kills. That's so many Vils dead. It's insane. 200 villagers killed. Some of it's understandable, but there's a lot of times where there's just like a single halberdier just destroying. Like I think there was a single halberdier here with like 50 villager kills. But yeah, these conic raids are doing so much damage. And now Biscuits has been pushed into the top half of the map. There's plenty of relics down here. And we do see a monastery coming up from Jade with some monks. So they are going to try to get those relics. Hussars know about that though, and they're trying to snipe them. Hussars are in a very interesting spot. They could snipe Hoofneeds. They could try to... But they're just going to kind of bounce off against them. Yeah, we see good responses from Jade in the back, cleaning these raids up, but the Hussars going to keep going forward. But yeah, Biscuits just so struggling so much. Jade's still pop capped. I mean, another house would be nice, but the Hoofneeds continue to kind of rage on. And Biscuits just doesn't have military. And send the Hussars straight into the Pokeboys with the military behind. Like, 123 kills from this death ball, and Biscuits taps out. He's tried a lot. It's not happening. What a game by Jade. Jade held on amazingly. It's purely a question of his military. Like, you can't win on this, right? Like, Biscuits played really well, but when your military is this low this entire game, you got to make a change. So I think that's where Jade won. Is Jade just had those same military units just getting so much value the entire game, whereas Biscuits never really got a massive. Like 36 was the most military he had for the last 30 minutes of the game. So, which is a shame because I think Biscuits was doing a really, really good job of pushing very well. Then economy, like had a better economy, had the advantage and stuff. Like I think Biscuits played that really well. It was just a entirely matter of not ever being able to mass up the military because like he had some really good fights there. He had the really good ram push. If he had a ram go earlier, like in this push area, I think like when they're doing a full-on base trade a little bit later, because he had 3 go in and just wiped out a whole bunch here, right? And then just no more rams, so this push got much slower. So, but yeah, Jade's gonna take game number 3, meaning that Jade wins the set. I believe you needed just to win the set to make it in. So congrats to Jade for getting to the playoffs. And I'm being told it is a best of 5, so they might be playing all 5. But at the same time, as of this moment, yeah, they're going to be playing all 5, because why not? So I love it. More DM. But congrats to Jade making the winning and making it into Division 6. And unfortunately for Biscuits, falling to Division 7. So he'll have a chance to try to make it back next season, and Jade will have a fun chance ahead of them of trying to win Division 6 and make it to Division 5. So, well done to Jade, but we got another 2 games going because they're going to keep playing. And why not? What did we say the next game? What did we see the next game was? On Outcrop. So, Outcrop. Yeah, Jade could go for a 5-0 sweep. That's a really strong statement. That's a I belong here if you get a 5-0. So that was Bulgarians died to the Bohemians. Outcrop, Britons, Teutons, because the last game is Serengeti. That's my guess. Britons, Teutons. I'm expecting Hindustanis and Japanese for Serengeti. So, alrighty, we can take a quick peek at Otter. Yeah, I don't think there was any surprise there, unfortunately. But yeah, Jade pulling out all the stops. Let's switch out of this. Turn to main menu. Go to spectator. Yeah, I think like Biscuits playing pretty solidly here. Like definitely there's some stuff we've been criticizing a little bit, but Jade's just playing so well. I think this is less on Biscuits and more on just Jade really dominating really hard. Like this is just Jade playing so well. Alrighty. Let's get into game number 4. Alright, welcome to game number 4 of the playoffs for Division 6. Jade has already secured their path into Division 6 for next season, but these players like to play, and they're going to continue to play. In the blue, hoping to get a game or 2, is Biscuits playing the Japanese, and in the green is Jade, the new Division 6 rep, playing the Hindustanis on Outcrop. So, I mean, it's going to be some camels versus infantry and cav archers. I don't think we expect to see samurai. I mean, they're going to go for an early castle because why not? But Outcrop, I mean, I like Outcrop as like much more than Arabia games, but this will be fun. Yeah, we're going to see the Imperial Camel Riders. What is their? Trying to remember. They get like better hand cannons. They get gulams. And camels are better. And then Japanese samurai, they don't get that. Yeah, so samurai, Japanese, very solid all-around civ. Hindu's going to be the RM bait pick, as Otter likes to call them. But are there only 4? No, there's 5 relics. Okay. So yeah, we see early on Jade going to send camels to the sides, try to prevent any expansion from going up for free. It's a pretty common trait, unless they're going to send them in to try to get some villagers building in the backlines. We've seen early market coming up from Biscuits. Biscuits deciding, hey, you know, I've already lost. May as well try to go for a bit more of a like early market play and try to get that shenanigans going. We do see a few pikes going out as well to do the same against Jade, so that no expansion goes there unopposed. And we do see early TCs being placed for Jade, so we'll see if the villagers try to go out there, and the Camel's going to go and scout this out. And they're going to find those halberdiers, and those halberdiers are not going to have a good time. Do they even notice? We might get a nice little pick off. And the halberdier is going to try to go, and both players looking like they're going to try to, you know, contest over this right side, but okay, villagers do get picked off here, so Jade shouldn't, or Mighty knows that, or Biscuit knows that there's a little bit of a squad over there. And yeah, the halberdiers do find the villager snipe. So that is nice. Cav Archers are going to come in here, and they're going to find a nice little villager snipe on this castle. Could even stop this other one, but no, the gunpowder and the camel's going to be annoying. But no, these Cav Archers finding a few picks. Going to pick off another villager here. Get 3 villagers. That is a nice little squad. Some good harass micro. And in the meantime, this gets cleared up, so villagers could come over and start expanding there. The TCs probably will start going up shortly as villagers finish up this castle and probably get queued over there. But there's going to be hand cannons and camel. Should have gotten more water. Whoops. So kind of a slow start. No real push in the middle from either side. But it's going to be Cav Archers. I thought those were petards for a second, but no, there's some samurai mixed in. Hindustani's unique units are... I don't think they get bonus damage against Imperial Camel Riders, right? I don't think samurais get bonus damage against camels. That would be silly. But now the villager's going to expand on this side. Castle's going up over here. So both players trying to expand. I mean, oh. So this gets denied. That is a massive deny from Jade. Stopping this expansion on this side, meaning that... yeah, it's just going to slow down Biscuits quite a bit. I mean, Biscuits is expanding over here, but definitely he definitely wanted to get access to this gold and secure that side. So Jade finding a really nice pick there, but a lot of military is over there and kind of big death ball in the middle coming forward. Cav Archers, halberdiers, samurai, some onagers, and the dangerous Japanese trebs. We see some Ghulams coming in to try to get some raids, and they're going to get some good engagement. There's a lot of Ghulams here, and they're going to stop this expansion. So nice find from Jade, really stopping any chance of eco expansions on both sides. And we actually do have a raid in the back. Those camels now looping around, trying to find some damage here. Good reactions from Biscuit, not letting a lot of damage go down, but the Cav Archers have to get chased away. And yeah, the camels are just going to run through a bunch of castle and town center fire. They're going to find a few villagers here, a few units here and there. But yeah, it looks like the military is going to be sent over here to secure this expansion from the Ghulams. Biscuits desperately wants to get this expansion set up. And the Camel's going to find this unprotected siege, going to be able to pick off a couple trebs. It's a nice little find, but it is going to cost the rest of the Camels their life. And yeah, that is a pretty solid find, especially because they're going to probably die regardless. And that's just a very annoying thing to lose. So, nice find. And yeah, just Biscuits is still struggling to get this economy set up on the side. In the meantime, this is getting set up pretty well for Jade. Has 2 TCs over here. Going to start pumping out villagers from them. Going to get this castle up. Getting 3rd TC as well. And that right side should be a nice expansion. But Biscuits is pushing in with the pop-capped army. Jade losing a lot of those camels means that their army isn't quite as big, down 20. And now this engagement is going to be a big deal. That's a lot of Cav Archers here with some Andra backup. It's going to be hard to engage on it. The gunpowder is here as well. We're going to try to fight some of these halberdiers. Halberdiers trying desperately to protect the siege. And those camels trying to get onto those Cav Archers. The halberdiers are protecting the wrong units. Andra's taking a lot of damage, killing a lot of units. And those gunpowder just wrecking the hell out of all those halberdiers. And the camels get traded for all the halberdiers. And now it's just it's Cav Archers versus gunpowder with some Andras mixed in. And the Japanese trebs can start getting some shots down. If they're micro, they're going to be microed back. And looks like Biscuits doesn't want to push their luck and will fall back a little bit. Cav Archer's going to pick off some of these Ghulams. And yeah, not a lot of damage there from Biscuits, so kind of just a reset. Does give Biscuits a little bit of breathing room to start expanding their eco. Gets that castle up on that side. And now even with that those camels going into that raid means that this side is exposed for Biscuits to come over here and start expanding their eco, which he's tried multiple times and did not go well. So finally getting that up. And the trebs are already up here. So when this castle attempts to go up in a little bit, Biscuits is going to be able to push from the side and start denying that expansion. So very nicely done from Biscuits, setting up in a good position and having a massive army here to cause problems. The big fight is going to be on these flanks. There's not a lot of fights in the middle right now. And the Treb's going to rush forward and try to one-shot this castle as the Camels and Gunpowder try to engage on this. There's no Halberdiers here to deal with this, just Samurai. And the Samurai are going to get chewed through by the Gunpowder. The Camels going to try to engage on these Trebuchets. They take out the castle. The Trebuchets should be pulled back here. But the Cav Archers and the Samurai doing their best to try to take out some of these Camels, but the Camels are taking out all these Trebs, and now the Ghulams rush in, and they're going to be taking out these Trebuchets, and those Trebuchets are just left to die. And the castle is too far back. This forward economy is going to get exposed. These buildings should be taken down by the Camels, Ghulams, and Gunpowder, and now here come the Bomber Cannons. This push is going to be tough for Biscuits to deal with. In the meantime, this expansion attempting to go up, but with the forces already here, they're going to be able to snipe this villager and stop this from going up. But all the actions on this right side, Bomber Cannon's going to start ranging the castle needs to be repaired. Halberdier's going to find the Imperial Camels. Bad engagement from the Imperial Camels. The hand cannons need to help out here, but they're not. And the Cav Archers are going to be doing some good damage. Ghulam's trying to engage onto those Cav Archers. They're going to find some good fights, but there's too many Cav Archers. You can just not even bother microing, just take them out. Yeah, they're just going to get on the hill, take these Ghulams out pretty quickly. Castle does go down, but all the Camels are down. Gunpowder is the only thing standing between the Bomber Cannons and the enemy or the military of Biscuits, but that's enough to stop this, and Biscuits is going to lose this expansion on the right side. Is starting to secure this left side expansion, so we'll be able to transition their eco over there, but this is a massive loss. Is fighting on the hill, so has the advantage, but runs downhill and is going to try to engage and micro onto these Gunpowder units. I don't think that's a really good engagement. You need to protect, deal with these Camels, and engage on them. Villagers coming forward to try to deal with this. Bomber Cannon is going to land on some shots. Camels have the unexposed, have free reign to take out these onagers, and that is just not a great engagement from Biscuits. I think running those Cav Archers, trying to micro them a little bit, was just not where you needed to be. You need to take out the front line of Camels, use the onagers to take out the Gunpowder, and go from there. And now the Bomber Cannon is going to land some shots, and the Gunpowder is going to continue to push forward, and Biscuits continue to be pushed back without any kind of melee units to try to engage onto these units. Samurai not going to be doing great against Gunpowder. And the Cav Archers trying to micro forward, and they are going to get some good micro here. And they are going to clean this push up, and they do get taken down, so this... I mean, the Cav Archer need to chase down and harass these Gunpowders. They need to kill these Gunpowders. You can't let the Gunpowders escape. But no, the Gunpowders escape. Some monks are going to start healing them up. And Jade secures some of the backbone of their army, but needs to keep pulling them back. But they're going to stay up front with some Ghulams and Hussars coming in from the reinforcements. Might be able to help, but no, the Gunpowder just eventually does die. I think you could have pulled them back and saved them. So that was a little bit of a mistake. But we see some camel raids in the backside, getting some good eco kills. You see, once again, Jade getting 50 eco kills. Remember, in Sunburn, Jade had 200 eco kills. So that's kind of been one of the big things, is Biscuits just has been able to protect their eco, hasn't responded to the raids of Jade. And so Jade has been able to get so many free eco kills and got so many problems, cost so many resources to keep that eco going. And the Hussar's going to come in here and try to find some engagements. And oh, there's only a couple Samurai here to protect the Honor Guard, protecting against the Hussar raids. They're going to try to engage on these Onagers, and does lose quite a bit. The Onagers doing some friendly fire, and those Hussars getting so much value. I mean, and then the front area kind of get cleaned up. Like, that didn't matter. Losing all that siege, that is a huge find for Jade. What a great engagement there. Sending those Hussars into clean up the reinforcements that had no protection besides a small Japanese Samurai Honor Guard. And unfortunately, that just meant that a lot of Biscuits gold units got wiped out there. And so it's going to be quite a bit before they reinforce that. Trying to rebuild their gold. Only have 25 on gold, which is like a good amount, but needs to populate some more. Maybe populate some of these golds as well. But yeah, I mean, Biscuits is pop capped. Both players having a little bit too much eco for now. And going to rebuild their bases. And we'll see how this kind of goes next. Ghulam's going to try to come in here and snipe. And I mean, this was something Jade was doing in the past games, where Jade was sending in small little squads of some halberdiers. I think it was game 2. No, game 1. Where Jade would just send forth a couple, like, halberdiers or hussars and just pick off, trade some trash units for gold units. Because if you send, like, 5 hussars forward and take out 2 onagers, that's a huge trade, right? And so, kind of, Biscuits leaving these guys exposed in weird ways means that Jade can just find some really good damage here and there. Gonna try to get another raid. Is gonna find a few kills, but a couple halberdiers here will help put an end to it before too much damage is done with the castle there. So nice little damage control. Does find a few villager kills, and we do see a big raid in this backside. Kind of a little bit of blind moment, but finding some good kills, pressuring this back area. But really, I don't think finding too much damage. The TC does get pulled into, and now these halberdiers are just going to get wiped out by the castle fire, and they're going to have to reposition with no siege there to really pressure. And we see a big push in the middle. The Ghulam's rushing forward, trying to snipe some siege. Andra's going to clean that up pretty well, but now the bomber cannons are coming, and there's so many clustered, and they're going to get taken out by those bombard shots. And oh, what a great find from Jade. I mean, might lose these bomber cannons if Jade's not careful and needs to run them away. Hand cannons going to do their best to try to take out these samurai. Might lose these bomber cannons. Going to take a nice shot, take out a couple of those cav archers. And yeah, so don't necessarily know if it was really worth that trade in the long run. Cost a lot of units here for Jade, but also took out a lot of siege onagers. So pretty smart find there. I think Jade could have done a bit more of a hit and run and try to really secure that, but yeah, now the Trebs are here to help push this area. Ghulam's going to try to run down these Trebs. And that's the danger of Ghulams, is that they're decent anti-cav units, or anti-archer units. And because they have decent pierce armor, right? Isn't that their whole shtick? Yeah, they have 8 pierce armor. And so there's just, with cav archers kind of being the main play of Biscuits, those Ghulams are finding so much value. And yeah, add in some samurai to deal with them and stuff, but they're just able to run around, have the mobility to snipe the siege, and then run away from the samurai. Like, the samurai are trying their best to keep up, and they're pretty fast, but not fast enough to catch up with the Ghulams. So Jade continues to show their hit and run strategies are so strong and cause so much problems. And here comes another Ghulam set of raids. We'll see if there's any reaction from Biscuits. Biscuits is pop capped, but doesn't have a lot of resources to replenish. So it's like, if he loses, he's going to lose a lot of villagers here. But this is pushing in this front side. Going to take out a lot of production here. Cav Archer is going to be causing some problems. There's not a lot of Trebs or anything here. So the building production isn't really in danger here. It's just going to be villagers and military that Jade has to worry about. And these hand cannons are going to be able to snipe these Cav Archers. Cav Archers a little bit trapped here. Trapped in a rock and a hard place. I mean, villagers should go into this TC. And, I mean, with some pikes, arson, and faster attacking military and onager, I guess some buildings do go down. So, pretty nice little push on the side. I think a Trevor 2 would have helped immensely. And then losing these Cav Archers is definitely a problem. But it's definitely focused all the attention there. See a little bit of some harassment in the middle with light Cav, trying to snipe some bomber cannons. But the Ghulam raids doing so much damage. Villager kills up to 125. Once again, Biscuits are just losing so much eco. And Biscuits is good enough about replenishing their eco. But it's just like, you need to respond to those raids. You lose so many villagers, you lose TCs. It's so rough to see. If you put the villagers in those TCs, you'd have a better chance, but you just lose so many villagers when this happens. And it's like, yeah, you replenish them, but it costs so much food in the long run. Ghulam's going to try to get onto the siege backline. Going to fight against these halberdiers and some champions. And going to get cleaned up. No, one does get in there, but they're going to pull back and chase him down as a group. And yeah, he's cleaned up, but not the worst skirmish. And I mean, Ghulams are pretty cheap comparatively. So Jade continuing to kind of be in the driver's seat. I mean, Jade's not really trying to force anything right now. Jade is just, building up 15k wood. So if this goes to wood, then Jade has absolutely zero problems. 52 on food. Decent gold. I'm surprised Jade hasn't made any efforts to try to contest this left side besides raids here and there. There's a lot of resources there that I think Jade could try to fight over. But Jade's content to just take all the resources on the right side and focus on winning the fights there. Treb's going to come forward, and the Cav Archers are going to try to maybe snipe a Treb or two, but with gunpowder there protecting against it, not really going to be something you can engage on. The Onagers need to come forward and engage on that military. You're going to be fighting a little bit uphill. Ghulam's coming running in, and there's nothing to deal with the Ghulams here. These Ghulams are going to have, I mean, we're going to see some good micro, good land, okay, Onagers are able to protect themselves, and the Cav Archers can clean up this last few. Very good Siege Onager micro, very much needed. And land some really nice shots. This is the best Siege Onager micro we've seen all game from Biscuits. But now the Hussars are here, and they're going to get in there. Ghulam's now coming in and cleaning some of these Siege Onagers up. And, yeah, trading some things here. Lost a castle. And, it was a good push, but then the Hussar reinforcements completely sniped all those Onagers, and now it's just Cav Archers, and Cav Archers aren't going to beat this military from Jade. In the meantime, we see another little small infantry push on this left side. Nothing really happening over here. All this eco is still completely free to be taken from Biscuits, but not repopulating. I mean, losing the fight here. Hussar's getting so much value here. Pushing them back. These cannons. continue to just generate a lot of value. Protect their siege. But there's no siege from Jade right now. It's just infantry. It's just Hussars going into sniping. The Hussars continue to find so much value. Jade is so good about sniping the siege. I think that's Jade's biggest, like, wide... If there's one thing that Jade is doing to win these games, it is sniping siege over and over and over again. Just preventing any siege units from getting massed up and really generating a lot of value. So, very nicely done. The push on the side gets cleaned up. Gulams are here to protect. Castle there to protect. It is turning into a bit of a longer game, so we can check relics as soon as this fight kind of ends. And we see scorpions being added, and I like the idea to deal with the Gulams and maybe some of the gunpowder. The problem is with the Hussar spam you've been seeing, those scorpions are going to be pretty in danger. So I'd still like to see some more halberdiers come out just to help protect your siege. But, I mean, yeah, Hussars are going to cause problems, I think. But we'll do a quick relic check. Jade has 3. And only 2 for Biscuits. I know Biscuits made an early push towards some of them, but just got sniped. And now Jade is starting to push on this left side. Realizes that, hey, maybe I should get some of these resources over here. Is going to start sending forward some Gulams and some Trebs. And there's really nothing over here to defend against this. So I think Jade's going to be able to make some gains in there. But at the same time, losing the expansion on the right side. There's still some gold over here. So don't want to give it up quite yet. Because there's still plenty of gold on this side. That's a dangerous amount of Cav Archers and Scorpions coming in. Maybe some Trebs mixed in would be really nice here. But, yeah, nothing to really deal with these Hussars besides maybe some Micro. And right now, the Cav Archers are just running around, not trying to actually take any shots. Okay, now there's the shots. They're going to go and snipe this Bombard Cannon. But not the best Micro. They're just getting picked away by the Hussars and Camels. So needs to do something to actually engage here. And now they're going to start doing a little bit of star sniping. But this is such a crazy Gulam raid on the side. I mean, Biscuits is going to lose this entire expansion. There's nothing to defend over here. Not even defensive Trebs or... Here's some Samurai coming out, but a little bit too little too late. And so Biscuits is going to lose that expansion, but is pushing on this right side. So going to get some good damage here. And the Ram's coming forward for Biscuits to try to clean some of this up. And I mean, hey, if Biscuits is going to lose the left side, he's going to be able to take claim of this right side, which is really good. Champion's going to clean up a bunch of these villagers and start evening out the Eco KD just a little bit. But, I mean, this entire expansion... Okay, did put the villagers into the TCs. They're getting cleaned up by the Gulams. But, at least there was some response, right? But I think Jade's going to have access to that left side now, even though Jade is losing access to the right side. Yeah, the Ram's going to come in and clean this up. Jade is cleaning up the last of that gold. Love to see it. Making sure all that gold gets taken away, so there's none left for your opponents. And still has 20k in the wood, in 20k wood. That's so wild. I feel like there's something you can spend some of that wood on. At least sell some of it, right? Like, it's probably not worth much, but, like, just dump 10k wood. I think you'll probably be pretty thankful for all that gold. Oh, and these Cav Archers caught out exposed, trying to engage on those Gulams. The Camel's going to start chasing them down and start picking away at them with the Hussars back up. Scorpions are going to come in here to try to help deal with this, and that's going to be a pretty rough fight for Jade unless they can redirect and deal with these Scorpions. Those Cav Archers are going to clean up some of this Halberdiers here to do this, and that's going to be a massive military loss for Jade in the long run. Jade's military count is starting to drop massively. Loses a lot of them there, and now there's some champions coming in here to clean up some of the Gulams on this side. And Jade hasn't really done a great job of securing this expansion. They cleaned all this up, but no castles, no production buildings. So this isn't really secure on this left side. So the expansion might not be there. Biscuits has a way to go forward and win this. The Gulam raids in the back area is going to be very annoying for Biscuits to deal with, but should be able to get cleaned up. Is going to tell Jade where the relic is. So that is something to consider. But this area is still potential for Biscuits to claim. And if Biscuits can keep Jade off of these resources, there is a chance that Biscuits could make something happen. But now the push on this left side is going to happen as Jade loses this right side expansion. And the military from Biscuits is fast, but needs to be kind of staying on the side. I'd love to see half the Cav Archers go over and try to contest this push. But this push is going to look very deadly. Once this castle goes down, those Hussars are going to have kind of... Well, it's 2 castles, but... This is starting to look a little bit dangerous for Biscuits on this flank side. There's really nothing here to contest against it. We see some Halberdiers and Champions maybe being massed up here, but a little bit too slow, too late. Villagers coming forward to try to secure a forward castle. And these Hussars are going to come and try to stop this little expansion going up. And so villagers knowing that they need Jade knowing that he needs to expand and secure this area. Villagers gonna come forward and probably drop a castle, maybe take a farm and delete the farm or something. But they wanted to build a TC in that spot or a mining camp there, so they're gonna build a mining camp here. So doesn't okay. Now the production buildings come out. I'd love to see a castle if Jade doesn't have the stone though. So. But this push is coming forward. Hussar's going to get some more damage here, but now the military here is to protect against Biscuits. And this push on the right side is starting to cause some problems. We're starting to see a little bit of push into the base. Biscuits is starting to make actual headway. Finally, in 43 minutes, it's starting to do some damage to the base of Jade. Has secured this right side entirely. Still some gold left. Not a lot of gold left now that Jade took a lot of the other gold piles. So there's this gold pile here, and then this gold pile here. So still plenty of gold for Biscuits to take. But this side is going to be massive. And the Trebs continue to push forward on the side. Not able to be cleaned up by Biscuits. But the big push on the side is over here with the Japanese Trebs and the Japanese Cav Archers and some Scorpions, some Halberdiers. The question is, can Biscuits reinforce this push once he starts losing some military here? If these Andras land some good shots, like we've seen time and time again, Biscuits has trouble reinforcing those front lines. And oh, Andra's going to get a free shot off. Good micro from Biscuits to try to pull them back. And loses all the Scorp. Oh. No, they're on patrol. Oh, good split micro, and does take them out, take away, but loses. And there's the problem: is that you lose some of the military and some bad trades there. And now, can you continue this push? I don't think Biscuits is going to be able to really continue this push. The Hussar is going to go and snipe these Trebs, and once the Trebs go down, that push is going to be really stalled. Cav Archers can't really push on their own. The Onager is going to get so many good shots off. And those Cav Archer numbers dropping drastically. And Biscuits was looking so good for a second, but a couple bad Onager shots taken, and just loses it all. Trebs continue to stay alive somehow, but now the Hussars should go and clean that up. And yeah, Cav Archers now nowhere near big enough to be able to deal with this and need to run back and just be saved. Very good cleanup from Jade. Some craziness on this left side. Hussar raids, or Halberdier raids, are going to try to clean up some of the stone from these light Cavs, going to help clean up some of these golds. But neither player really trying to secure. I mean, these production buildings are going to be very helpful, but no castles. No TC, like maybe a TC. There's a castle from Jade trying to protect this forward farm. I don't know really. Oh, and the gold. That's a key thing. But so it's going to turn into a. It's starting to turn into a wood game, and Jade having 20k wood in the bank is going to actually matter immensely. I think you still should have sold some of it, but now the Hussar raid is going to come in here, and there's so much exposed farm eco. These Hussars are going to have such a good time. Okay, good reaction from Biscuits to actually pull them in. We've seen with the eco kills, Biscuits has missed that at times, but there's not as much going on. So Cav Archers have swung over here to try to expand and secure this area. I think this left side is much more important than the right side. Hussar is going to continue to be annoying, and I mean, really, it's almost at a point where you want to do a house wall or something. But good reactions to try to save the farming eco. But it is going to be a question of who can fight and secure this gold. A castle is up here. I think Jay just needs to send all of their villagers, not onto farms, but onto gold. I think you need to soak up as much of that gold as you can so that Biscuits has none. You have the relic advantage, and you have the 20k wood in the bank. I think Jade is going to win this in the long run, purely on those facts. But military is starting to be a little bit of a concern for Jade. Doesn't have the military pop right now. Is struggling a little bit on the food sort. I think losing all the farm eco over here is definitely causing the problems. And it is going to turn into a bit of a wood game. Like there's still plenty of wood left for Jade. But if Jade gets pushed off this side and can't reclaim this side, I mean, there's not even a lot of wood left there. So, the problem is, again, Jade has 22 wood in the bank, right? Like 22k wood in the bank. So, and the 3 relics. So Jade is looking pretty solid on that end. And is going to be able to take this out with some Gulons protecting against these Trebs. And Hussar sniping another Treb. Like I said, it's just Jade's superpower this series is sniping the siege of Biscuits. Time and time again. So, Cav Archer's going to come in here and try to snipe the siege of Jade. But the Gulon's going to run in and chase him away. And I think this is kind of like a back and forth trades on this side. Right now, the problem is I think Biscuits is running low on viable resources. This left side has kind of been claimed by Jade. That castle, really good at securing the area. Needs to fully flesh out that gold, but has access to all these resources. And that's going to be a big problem. I mean, this Cav Archer ball is pretty dangerous. Like, when there's a massive ball that large, it's kind of hard to deal with. So Biscuit still has you know, a good amount of fight. And actually, looking at the military, Jade has nothing. The problem is, does Biscuits identify this? And does Biscuits, and sending some Trebs forth, can Biscuits make damage happen before Jade repopulates? 76 on farms, starting to flood forth. Hand Cannoneers being played. I don't know about that. I think Hussars are still solid. Like, with the Halberdiers, yes. But mono hand cannons and Gulams is going to be tough. Oh! And the Anja shots coming in clutch from Jade. Once again, finding just such good value from small scale units. Is going to lose them, but that is a lot of HP loss on those Cav Archers, putting them at very high danger. And now the Treb, only one Treb forth, but these units are coming forward. This needs to not overextend here, not lose all of the military. He's trying to snipe some of the military, but he's going to lose a lot of these to the castle fire. And, oh, you can't lose these champions, I feel like. You have the military advantage. You sit back and start using your Trebs to start pushing. I mean, there's no Trebs. Where are the Trebs? They're all back. Okay, there they go. But they're out of position and not really able to help. Gulam's going to come in for more raids. And I don't know. I think... I also don't think Biscuit realizes how much wood Jade has in the bank. I think that's kind of the big thing. I think Biscuits is almost trying to push us into a wood game, but he doesn't have the relic, so he should know that he doesn't have that in the long run. Gulam's going to get some good damage. Honestly, Jade should just go straight for that monastery. We'll see if Biscuits reacts to that at any point. One Treb's here. Now the other Trebs are here, so this push is starting to have actual teeth. And yeah, straight for that the monastery with relic in it. I don't know if Jade's going to be able to snipe it. We could see a sneaky monastery over here. Like, trying to snipe that relic would be huge. Relics haven't popped out, so no gold income from them for Biscuits, and that's a big problem because he doesn't have any other gold income anywhere else. I'd love to see a monastery. If Jade snipes those relics, that is... just promote Jade to Div 5 at that point. This push is starting to be a problem. Biscuits is making headway here, needs to protect his units. Maybe some villagers repair these Trebs would be huge. Cav Archers are just rotating around trying to protect these Trebs, but they're not firing enough. They need to fire on those Hussars so they don't attack the Trebs. They're just going to let the Trebs stay exposed. The Cav Archers need to be not necessarily sacrificed, but you need those Trebs to stay alive to get the damage done. You don't have the gold to replace the Trebs. And 2 Trebs go down. And Jade just continuing to find value where there is none. And now the Hussars flooding forward. And this is the problem of not having as much military here to reinforce. You need to protect those Trebs, and now the Trebs go down, and there's no gold for Biscuits. Maybe Biscuits has realized the gold's not there anymore. Okay, Monk's coming out to try but you need to repair those monasteries. I don't think you can put them into those monasteries. Okay, making a new one. Just repair the existing ones. Cav Archers getting chased away. No Monks, no Relic Snipe, unfortunately, from Jade. But those Gulam raids continue to be so annoying. And as this game draws on, I think Jade wins off of the back of relics and off of having a 20k wood bank. Which is absolutely insane that Jade has not been below 20k wood for, like, most of this game. Gulam's going to be sent forth to try to raid. I mean, Cav Archer's going to come in here and try to get some value, but it's just been... You've let Jade take out all that gold. So there's a little bit of stone left, but I think at this point it is full wood. And the wood lines aren't even... They're all kind of in the middle. And yeah, Jade's going to start pushing on this farm eco. And Biscuits is struggling for forward wood. I mean, he has these backwoods, but he wants to take the forward wood if he can. Is starting to make some progress in this left expansion, but I mean, at this point, it's just farm eco and some forest. So all the important resources have been taken, and you're going to have to deal with this castle area. Biscuits is going to get pushed over here. Is going to be able to find maybe a snipe here, but the Gulam's going to raid. It is coming down to an entire wood game. It is going to be who has the ability to make the army last the longest and generate the most value. And I mean, Jade is low on military. These Cav Archers have done a lot of damage. And when they're straggling in one by one, you're going to be able to pick off a lot of military. I mean, Jade doesn't have a lot of base left. So even though Jade has the relic advantage, has the resource advantage, military numbers are going to be a problem. And I mean, Jade is trying to push on the side. There are some exposed Trebs if Jade is able to find them. And those Hussars are coming forward. There are some Halberdiers here to protect against them. I think with the low number of Hussars, those Halberdiers should be able to protect them. So as they don't run too far past. They need to not run past the Halberdiers. Oh no, these Hussars are gonna find them. Oh my gosh, what a find. Gonna at least take one. Yeah, the Hussars, the Trebs need to stay with those Halberdiers. You're gonna lose a second Treb, and you do not have the gold to replace this. That is the worst possible decision. Setting them up when they're unpacking, like, there's a little bit of time. The villager's gonna come and repair. Very smart from Biscuits. But when they're unpacking, they take so much more damage. So, a lot of skirmishes going on all over the place. I mean, Biscuits is now starting to use that massive military he has to try to push into this and start taking out the base. I mean, we need some Trebs to take out this castle. That's going to be a big question. This base is starting to get taken out. I mean, these Trebs need to be moved. The villagers are exposed. Repairing the Trebs. And the Halberdiers are going to be able to help deal with this. But, I mean, this forward expansion is getting cleaned up. We have... Is there a bomber cannon? Something? There is a bomber cannon right there. So this expansion is going to get cleaned up. And so a lot of open space is going to be left. But this area... Oh, and the castle is going to get so many kills here. And, like, at this point, castle, like, losing military units of any kind is not something you can afford to do. And Jade still has so much resources. I think Biscuits is under the impression that Jade is struggling with resources as much as he is. So I think that's where thinks he still has a chance here, but I don't think he realizes how much resources Jade still has. Especially because you can't tell from the score, right? This is a crazy game. I thought this would have been over a long time ago. I don't know who would have... Like, there's times both players, I think, could have won, but... Again, Jade finds the best fights, and Biscuits has just been applying so much pressure the entire time. And it's just been back and forth. This has been a very good game. But yeah, now we see the side stables. Hussar raids going to be coming forward. I mean, with 18k wood in the bank, this is going to be 72 farm production for ages. So it's going to be a Hera-esque finish where Jade can just spam non-stop Hussars and just drain Biscuits of all the resources that he has. And he's already low on resources. Does find a few nice snipes on these onagers. Takes out all 3 onagers. That is a very good find here. Jade with 3 relics is going to struggle for gold units still. But, yeah. I mean, you can just see the Hussars continuously being flooded across. I mean, they're going all the way across. I almost feel like you should just send them straight into the base right now. But, I mean, you're massing up a Hussar army. And even if you're trading very unfavorably here, you can just... Oh, that's a lot of villagers. Oh, they're gonna all die. Oh, that's so many dead villagers. Oh, look at this eco KD. I wonder if we're gonna get to 500 eco KD. We very well could. Hussar's gonna come run past. Yeah, when it's just Halberdiers now, it's very hard to protect against. We're up to 400. That woodline has just been massacred. These farmers being massacred, not being pulled into the TC. Cavarch is going to come over here and find that, holy crap, there's still so many stables out here producing Hussars. I mean, honestly, you just camp them right here, and they just keep killing the reinforcements, and this is going to be... If Jade doesn't notice this, this is... Okay, now the Hussars notice it, and going to be massed up and sent out. Because you can get kill a lot of reinforcements for free there. Yeah, just throwing away Hussars, snipes 1 Treb. I mean, these Trebs are just doing nothing. I mean, it's kind of hard to want to move them around because they're going to get sniped, but they've just been sitting there since they ran away. I think at this point, it's just a slow bleed. I think Biscuits still doesn't believe just how many Hussars have come through. And we'll find out that, holy crap, Jade has had 20k wood this entire time. So well done. I think Jade could have probably won the game earlier if they had sold the wood. But what a crazy game. Economy from Jade. 50k wood chopped. And had 20 in the bank the entire time. That's so insane. Yeah, I think you could have sold a lot of wood. Sold 10k wood, so... Sold 10k resources, but I think that was also, like, early on. But yeah, well done from Jade. Taking it 4-0. Yeah, I think it's just the real takeaway. There's a lot of really fun back and forth there. A lot of good map control and stuff. But I think, again... The key thing from all of these games, and especially this one that we saw, Jade is able to snipe the siege. Every time Jade snipes siege, is just the push stops, the momentum shifts, and Jade just generates so much value in the long term from that. So, yeah, well done from Jade. We're gonna go into game 5 shortly. I assume they might even be playing it already, and it is already starting, so I'm going to go fill up on water as we get going in a second. So give me 1 second just to get some water. And we'll get our 5th game. Especially if it's another wood game. I need plenty of water for a second wood game. All right. Also, hello, Lunatic. We got our 5th game underway. It is Serengeti, a Arabia-esque map to finish up on. Hoping that Biscuits can take a game, but with how Jade's playing, it is looking unlikely. So, let me put my headphones on, and let us get underway for the final game of the Div 6 playoffs. All righty. Let's go here. Pause. All right. Hoping that Biscuit can take a game 5. All right, welcome to the final game of the Division 6 playoffs for Tarnished Deathmatch League Season 6. In the blue, trying to get on the board, is Biscuits playing the Malians. And in the green, trying to get that 5-0 sweep to announce their new division place, is Jade, having already taken the division playoffs, winning for pride. Getting that 5-0 is going to be a strong statement, warning all the other future Div 6 players that Jade is a force to be reckoned with. So, Turks, Malians. We're going to see Camels out right away. Villager is a little bit exposed, but good reaction from Biscuits. And, yeah, no damage done by either player. So it's going to be kind of a standard opening. I mean, this Light Cav is going to come in and try to maybe find something, but no, it's going to run away. The Camel's going to chase it down. And all this Light Cav is going to do now is try to draw some of the military away from the base. Maybe even find a villager pick, but no, there's too many Camels there, and that goes down right away. So, simple start. Kind of a weird map gen, with them both being to the kind of the left side of it. And, like, there's this big hill here, and then this hill here, but, like, the middle areas between the two is kind of weirdly open. And there's a couple really big hills. Like, this hill is massive, but also has a cracked terrain. But it's like, with how the wood lines are, too, it's like you're not really going to have good engagements from either side through the middle. So we do see Jade immediately going to try to secure some of these outside hills. And a castle over on the south gold for Biscuits. But yeah, these Cav Archers coming forward, trying to snipe a villager or two. Gonna snipe one, might even snipe an onager. And yeah, this is looking like a tough situation. Those Cav Archers gonna snipe another villager. Yeah. So finds a few eco kills, which is nice. And this Camel did pick up a kill or two over here as well. So both players finding a little bit of damage. But that's a lot of Camels being masked up by the Malians. And Cav Archers and Heavy Camels from the Turks. So it's going to be a Camel War with some SOs from the Biscuits. We'll see what the play is. Going to send the Camels in kind of a split formation, try to draw some of the military away, and maybe try to push in the middle. We'll see if the Trebs are starting to come out. Not really any... okay, all the Trebs are starting to come out here. Market play was done, I believe, by Biscuits, maybe? I don't have the market notifications on because I find it distracting. Yeah, Camel's going to protect against these castles, which is a nice little thing. Going to try to find some raids in the backside. Jade, not noticing, is going to find some very nice kills here. Biscuits finding a very good reaction. I mean, Jade has a good reaction. Needs to find that villager that's building a TC of 1 HP. But gets a couple kills, and then Jade has a quick reaction enough that Jade's not going to lose too much. And he's going to find this villager, hopefully. Yeah, okay. And he gets this other villager, so even more value than I think Jade was, or Biscuits was expecting. But Biscuits has the eco KD lead here. And, yeah, I mean, both players just kind of content to mass up their armies, start building their ecos. Jade is pop capped, so Jade's struggling a little bit. I mean, the TCs were denied. Those houses got denied earlier on. So Jade's going to fall a little bit behind here in production just by virtue of being pop capped real quick. And is going to get this house up, which will help alleviate some of the pressure. But this is going to give Biscuits a little bit of time to get ahead in the eco and military count. Meantime, this is trying to go up and secure the area. Camel's protecting against this, but this castle is going to be a nice shock for whichever villager comes out and tries to build a castle there. And now the Trebs and the SOs are up. It's going to be a beginning push for Biscuits. Going to clear up. I like this. Clear up the area. If you're the one pushing, you may as well make it a little bit easier to engage. Especially against bombard cannons, I think. Yeah, and the gunpowder units having extra range and the cannons, bomber cannons having 14 range. I think you don't want to deal with too many choke points, but those bomber cannons are going to be so hard to engage into, especially as they're going to be able to snipe a lot of these SOs. The SO's going to try to land some shots on these cav archers. Cav archers can be pulled forward a little bit, losing a lot of those, but the bomber cannons having something to say about that, taking all of those siege archers off, all the siege archers down, landing the shot on their own, and now the camel's trying to engage on this choke point, and it's kind of hard to get a surround on these cav archers, and so this is going to be a rough engagement for Biscuits. Trebuchets are going to land some shots on them. Cav archers do get a bit of a surround, but there's not a lot of cav archers left, and they're going to get all melted. Yeah, and it's just not a good engagement. Going to have some pressure on this castle, but now that cav archer ball is going to be able to engage you. Biscuits really need those onagers to get some value, and those onagers all getting sniped right at the start from those bomber cannons just meant there's nothing that he could do about it. So now the cav archers are going to be able to kind of poke forward. Surprised they're not poking forward a little bit more. They kind of have the numbers advantage just by, a lot. Castle does go down, so at least not entirely. At least the army wasn't thrown away for absolutely nothing. The front of the base is a bit more exposed here, but this is just not a good time for Biscuits. Going to lose all of his siege as well. The cav archers getting so much value here. Bomber cannons haven't been touched. Camel's going to try to flank on the side, and Camel's going to engage over here and losing more trebs. But this massive ball of cav archers with bomber cannons behind with some janissaries in there. This is not a fight you're winning as Biscuits, especially with the lower military numbers. If you had a bigger army, it'd be a different story. It also is going to be, can the onagers land any shots? But with the trees there, it's kind of hard to get in there. Camel's going to try to engage there, and the bomber cannon's going to land shots and just take out all of them. And those onagers going to try to get a shot off. Gets one shot off, takes out some HP, but not enough to make a damn difference. And those camels going to get onto those bomber cannons, and they should be able to take out some of those bomber cannons. Once you take out the bomber cannons, it should be a little bit better. But there's one siege onager still alive. If that can land some shots on these clumped up cavalry archers, but no. Jade micros just enough away and survives. So it does lose the bomber cannons, but those cav archers stay alive, though they are low. It is really a question now of can Biscuits manage... Ooh, kills a lot of their own units. Does find a nice find here, killing a lot of the janissaries for just some HP on one of the onagers. Maybe lost one onager behind, but yeah, this cav archer ball is kind of the big problem that Biscuits has to contend with. In the meantime, this castle goes up. This castle goes up, and Treb took out this other castle. So a little bit of expansions on this side from Biscuits is going to be very nice, just to kind of, secure these resources, drain a little bit from Jade, and not a lot of focus being done over here. We do see the Treb war over here as they go slowly forward. Villagers coming forward. I'd love to see the villagers attack that Treb. I'm assuming he's just going to make some random... Yeah, Gebettos. They're fast enough, especially, so they're going to be able to clean that up pretty quickly. And Biscuits is going to win the side, which is very nice. We do have some sneak camels protecting this back area. But in the meantime, the fight in the middle is raging on. The Hussars finding those siege onager land. I mean, one shot does land, but yeah, it's just Biscuits isn't able to get any value with the siege onagers that he needs to win these fights, and instead loses the siege onagers to the long-range units of the Turks. And it's just going to be tough. At least Biscuits is winning the side over here. Could start flushing out his eco, but military is where it's problematic, and 87 kills on the ball of cav archers. It's very dangerous. I mean, these Trebs could land a few shots here with a little bit of micro, but there's no bombard cannons. Okay, here's some bombard cannons being mixed in. Camel's going to try to engage on the one bombard cannon that's there, which you're going to find, but that is taking a lot of damage. Treb's going to land some shots onto those cav archers. No onagers. One onager is going to try to come in here and try to get some shots, but I mean, you kind of need to do that when you were focused on that. I mean, this onager coming in is a little late and is just going to get sniped, doing nothing. Biscuits choosing just not the best military micro. I think that's kind of been the other big story of this entire thing, is just not controlling multiple aspects of their military quite the way they need to, and then Jade using that advantage to just snipe the siege and makes the siege just get no value. If those camels had been running with the siege already pushing in, while the cav archers were trying to snipe the camels that were trying to take off bomber cannons, you could have probably gotten 1 or 2 shots off on those camel archers, or the cav archers. Now Hussar's going to continue to go forward, snipe these siege, and Jay is just finding so much value. The single bomber cannon needs, okay, 2 bomber cannons now, and probably a few more on the way. They're going to start taking out these buildings. We have a little bit of a, oh, this is a problem. We have some eco and production over here. And, alright, have a good night, lunatic. This castle going up is going to be very nice from Jay, just eventually pressuring this, taking out one of these relics, and, adding some stables, maybe raid some of that area. But Biscuits is losing a lot of military, losing a lot of ground. These camels going to once again try to engage here. And there's nothing else to really, like, find some damage here. So it's just going to be cav archers making sure they don't get flanked. Camels are going to find some nice little pickoffs here to get some favorable trades, but, like, they're not finding any notable damage. Bomber cannons continue to be well protected. It's going to come forward and take out these trebs. They are going a little bit too far forward. The camels are going to be able to engage and maybe take out 1 or 2, but the cav archers are there to snipe them, and not a lot of damage is done. And so, just continuing to protect against those. And the onagers are going to try to maybe do some sneak action here. 1 bomber cannon does get sniped by the treb, but these cav archers are just so difficult to engage into. And we do see the camels just deciding to say screw it and go for a raid. But does lose 2 of the bomber cannons. So nice little find there. And yeah, the siege onager going forward by itself with no military in front of it is just going to get sniped by the bomber cannons and the cav archers. Camel's going to cause some problems with the back lines of Jade. And the TCs are filled up, so these villagers are very much exposed. They're going to lose a lot of eco kills. But Jade still has the advantage of the eco because completely wiped out, or not wiping out, but oh, the Trebs over here cleaned up that castle of the expansion. So not a lot of harassment coming out from these stables until it's a little bit too late. And so this is going to get cleaned up by Biscuits, and Biscuits is going to continue to secure this gold area, this farm space, these relics, and not worry too much about that. This side is also pretty much safe for Biscuits. Neither player really contesting too much here. Probably wants to grab that relic at some point, but I mean, we do have Biscuits making a weird little push here with those forces from there. Oh, the Hussar is going to come check out what's happening over here. Knows that there's an expansion over there, but this push in the middle still continuing to just be a problem. As slow as it is. The Treb's trying to get some snipes, though. Almost gets that second bomber cannon. The Camel's going to try to engage here. The cav archers are there to just push them away. And the Hussar's going to go in and snipe that Treb. And that's a lot of onagers. So we do need to see the Hussars come in from Jade, maybe some Bombard Micro. And oh, this is the engagement Biscuit needed. Takes out a lot of those cav archers. The Hussars are here to engage on this, but I mean, this is the thing that Biscuits finally needed. Some way. Oh, and loses some O. And now the Camel's going forward without the siege onagers. Oh, when things go right, they just immediately go wrong for Biscuits. Biscuits looked away, and just now the Hussars are gonna probably be able to sneak into that back line and snipe them. And all those camels get thrown away to those cav archers. If they had engaged at the same time, I think Biscuits would have cleaned that up. But unfortunately, oh, this pond is as nice as it is to protect. It means the cav archers can just run away as the bomber cannons rain down fire. They need to attack ground, so they're missing their shots. But now the Hussars find the siege onagers, and what looked like a promising fight back from Biscuits was only a temporary thing. And Jade doing so well at protecting their gold units. And we'll continue the push pretty much unabated. With 4 bomber cannons now, this should be going much faster. Starting to raid some of the villagers. The entire production is exposed. And Biscuits taps out. Jade taking a very, very smooth 5-0. Well done from both players. Congrats to Jade, making it into Div 6. Unfortunate for Biscuits. Better luck next year. Or not next year, but next season. Jade, thank you for the follow. Well done and congratulations. That was very well played. If you rewatch this, the biggest takeaway I have from all of this is you were so incredibly good at sniping the siege. There was just so many times you'd send like 5 Hussars forward into a massive army, and for whatever reason they would just pick off 3 siege launchers, pick off 2 trebuchets, and it was just like nonstop, and you just never let Biscuits get a massive, massive like siege value off of anything. So very well done from Jade. Good games from Biscuits. I don't think Biscuits played too. I don't think this was a case of Biscuits playing poorly. I think this was a case of Jade just playing perfectly. Biscuits played really well, especially that 4th game, and the Sunburn game. Like there were some really good games. These were fantastic games, very deserving of a playoff set. But I think it was a matter of Jade. You were just playing better today. Like you're just playing so good. I think Biscuits made a few sloppy mistakes here and there, and when he did, it just caused so much damage. And then you took advantage of any mistake he made.